Is Brittany on here? Okay, what's up, Brittany? So, Brittany, you are a true Leo in sidereal astrology, also a Earth dragon. I'm laughing at your chart because my mom is born August 24th, and she's also a dragon. However, she's a water dragon. So I'm very familiar with your energy. Just let's start there. I know your energy very well. All right. August 24th is actually one of my favorite birthdays. I just find that you guys are hilarious. I don't know. I know 3 people with that birthday, and all of them are funny. Dave Chappelle is the most famous one, probably, that everyone knows, who's born the 24th of August, and obviously one of the most hilarious comedians that ever lived. I don't care if people don't feel like he's funny. I don't know what people are talking about. The dude's hilarious. My mom is freaking hilarious, like, effortlessly, and then my other friend, she's really funny. But one thing I will say about this particular birthday that I find is that you guys have, like, very high self-worth. I've never really met anyone around that time of the year that has low self-worth or confidence. So that's definitely something that's going to shine through automatically with just your sun placement. And also the fact that you're a dragon. So dragon women are like, dragon is Aries energy. So not only are you a Leo sun, but you're born a dragon year. So you're very dominant already. I know, like, off the rip, you're already, like, dominant. I can already see that. Okay, so this is just your 12 sign chart. I'm going to change it over to your 13 signs chart so you can see those placements. As you can see, your sun went into Leo here because that's your true sun placement. Every year on your birthday, the sun is sitting in Leo, and this is why you have so much confidence. This is why you're so funny. It's because Leo is a very jovial, performative sign, and also they have obviously the utmost confidence of any other sign because they're Leos. Leo is a royal sign. Everybody knows about Leo. The only problem is the people who are Leos keep getting called Virgos. Like Michael Jackson, that is not a Virgo. Like, we need to stop doing that, because if we look at Michael Jackson as the true Leo he is, or Kobe Bryant, and actually see the ego on these people and the Leo qualities of them, I think we'll look at Leo a little bit different versus like the people at the beginning of August who are really crybabies and give Leo a bad name. They're really Cancers. So we got to look at the true essence of a Leo, like a Beyonce, like they're stars. You guys are just naturally stars. People love watching you guys, great performers. Whatever you guys do, you're the top at it, usually the best of the best. Okay. A lot of true Leos tend to be the best in their field, and that's just because y'all confidence. All right. Now, so what you are here to experience, your life purpose, you have a North Node in Aquarius, so that's kind of opposite your sun, so that already is going to be interesting. I would definitely say your life purpose would center around being creative. Like, you're definitely meant to be like an actress or do something where you're center stage, but instead of your like fame and your your clout and everything benefiting you with a North Node in Aquarius, you are meant to kind of affect the collective in a positive way, like, give back to, like, be a humanitarian, pretty much, like a humanitarian, or solve world problems. Okay, so it's not just using your Leo power just for yourself. It's definitely very much for the collective. So I would say definitely somebody who's a huge humanitarian, advocate for other people. Also would be a great astrologer with a North Node in Aquarius. Anything that helps you heal the collective or give knowledge to other people. Like I said, I definitely see more of like an actress or actor placed in Mercury and Leo. Very smart, very funny. So could even be into comedy, but definitely performative, but using it for a higher good. So any of those things, technology, creating technology or giving technology to people who like don't have it. This is like Akon, like what Akon did, when he gave power to a lot of villages that didn't have it. It's like that. Using your entertainment, using your Midas touch to help other people. That's kind of what your soul wants to experience. And also with the rising in Capricorn, business. Okay, so you're definitely going to be someone who you're going to be put in a reality where you have to put your career over your domestic life. Like, even if you have children, you're going to be more of the earner, like the one who works outside the home, the business. You're going to be put in situations. You might even be delayed with having children. If you don't already have them, then you might not, you might have them later on. That's another thing that's seen with Capricorn rising. You guys want children because at your core, your descendant, your past life, you were very maternal. Like all you cared about was taking care of people and children, and you were very Cancerian. But this life, it's like you want to be more Capricorn. Capricorn is very sentimental and family oriented, but business is their code of conduct. They're definitely the ones who are going to be working outside the home. So business, learning business, getting into business is going to be important, which it kind of sucks because your Leo sun just kind of wants to have fun. You want to be in love and shit. You want to have a home. You want to have family, but it's like, nah, you're not. It's not going to go that way initially. At least that's not, your life is not going to put you in situations. Like you're always going to find it's hard to, you're going to attract people who want you to be at home or people who want like a family life, and you're going to want to build. So that's kind of going to be the issue with your love life already. I see a block with that. Is the people you attract are going to be people who want to be kind of like already settled down, and you're going to be like, nah, I got to achieve all this shit. I don't know what you're talking about, settling down and having kids. Even if you have children, you're going to be like, okay, that's not it for me. That's just a part of the package. You're always going to be striving for business and also like being seen in the public eye. This also could be someone who gets into like, being a politician or something like that. You would make a great lawyer too, or like a social worker. So like, yeah, you just got a lot of work to do. It's not that you can't have a family, but you're going to have someone who understands that you have a lot to do. This reminds me of like, I guess Zendaya, because Zendaya is going to get older and she's going to be more of like an Angelina Jolie. Like I see her being more of an advocate. Like she's an actress and stuff now, but she's going to do a lot of stuff, like have a lot of foundations. It's like she was born for what she's doing. It's kind of like how this is. Like Angelina Jolie was like really, she's big into acting and stuff, but then she became an advocate and she started working overseas and being a humanitarian and shit like that. That's kind of how you're going to be. And it's more like Angelina settled down as she got older. She got into being a mother and chilling out more as she got older after she already established herself. So that's kind of how your life is going to play out here. I would definitely say 6th house, one of your talents are communication. So creating a like podcast will be great for you, or anything where you have to keep up with like topics and trends. So being a YouTuber would be great, and not just like having to do tarot. I mean, you obviously would be good with tarot because you're a true Leo, but it's like I'm saying anything that's going on right now, trending topics, communicating the news or anything, but doing it in your own way, or just relaying information. So being like a podcaster or a YouTuber would be great for you, and that would be something you could do on a day-to-day basis. Even like radio hosting, your voice would be your work, could be your work. Like you definitely could be somebody that literally get paid for your voice with that here. So even voice acting would be great for you. Let's see. Let me see. Karma, yeah. I definitely see here that you probably run away from the occult a little bit too, and that's going to be hard for you to do. So I would definitely say you're probably going to be into something spiritual. Whether you do this on a large scale or not is up to you, but I will say you're going to have to get into it. So running from it or trying to avoid being into the occult is going to fuck you up in this life. So you might as well accept whatever you're being drawn to, whether it be mediumship, tarot, whatever it is, it's going to be a part of your life. It'll actually help your money here with your part of fortune. So doing candle work and shit like that will actually help you produce what you want. But also beauty. I see beauty in your chart, being in the beauty industry, modeling, anything that has to do with like women, Venetian type things, because you got part of fortune in Taurus. So you also could get into like interior design. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, definitely a unique voice with that 6th house in Gemini. Okay, so I think I went over your life purpose a little bit. Definitely humanitarian. I would definitely say getting creative. I definitely would say you have to work for yourself. Working for anyone else would just not even work for your chart. So you got a Capricorn rising. So you might as well just start your own business. Moon in Sagittarius as well. You need a bit of freedom. Your mom was a free spirit. So I would definitely say you need to be able to do kind of what you wanted to do, and also travel. You don't really like to do outside your comfort zone, but you need to. So you're kind of a homebody. It's like an oxymoron a little bit. You definitely are a homebody, but you need to be out. Like, you need to get out of your comfort zone. So traveling abroad is going to help you a lot, especially emotionally, because you're going to have a lot of experiences that clear some emotional blockages for you, especially with Moon in the 12th house. Moon in the 12th house is also a musician. So keep that in mind with you having a unique voice. So you could also be a rapper or into music, because Rihanna has Moon in the 12th house. And a lot of people I see with Moon in the 12th house, they need music to help them deal with whatever those mother wounds are. For me, it feels like your mother was too much of a free spirit. So it could have made you feel kind of alienated away from her emotionally. Like, she definitely seemed too much of a free spirit, too focused on other things with Moon in Sagittarius. She was very smart. She gave you a lot of wisdom in one way or the other, but there's some emotional trauma there that's going to need to be worked through. And music is a great way to deal with that placement. So you might actually wind up being like a musician or something. As far as your love life is concerned, the person that you're going to deal with, they are also like a homebody as well. This person's big on family. This person's going to want children or already have children. They're going to be very domesticated in a way, and definitely more yin than you are. So you're going to be looking at more yin people, like people, and this could even be like early August. I was talking shit about them, but like the Barack Obama types, those type of men are, if you're date man or whatever you're into, you're going to need more of like a yin partner. Somebody who's more yin, because you're very yang. Like, you're very extroverted, very fiery person. So the person you're going to be with is someone who's actually very domesticated. It won't actually mind, like, you might have a house husband or some shit, or someone who won't mind taking care of the children and being more of a home person. They might work from home. Like, it's somebody who have a home-based business. Okay, very healing person, very emotional as well, because you're not that emotional with Moon in the 12th house. This person's going to help you get in touch with your emotions. So I'd say early August, late July, also late July as well. Late July, so they would be Cancers in Western. They are probably going to be good for you. These would be communicators as well, and people who have unique voices. So like the Pop Smokes, the Kevin Harts, people with very unique voices. So they might actually be musicians. I definitely seen this be like a musician couple. Like, you two might actually wind up being musicians, or in the same, like, if you get into radio, they could be into radio or something. They would definitely be somebody who's like, they use their voice. So they could be a YouTuber or some shit, because they probably could work from home. But it's like they use the internet, or their voice is also significant, because I see you two being like a couple that teaches people, but it's like through the internet or like through YouTube or something like that. So technical, they can even be like a techie or like into IT, very smart, but very good with technology and shit like that. So those are people I see would be good relationships for you. Because even your Venus is there. So yeah, you need men who can communicate. Very good with communication, very cerebral type of people, very smart people, like self-starters and business people. Those are going to be your people you're attracted to. Okay, so with love, if they're a man who is for the streets, this is not a domesticated person or a woman, man, whatever you're into. If they're for the streets, then that's not your person. The person that's for you is somebody who does not mind being at home and loves being a parent. Okay, they are very family oriented. Like I said, it gives me Barack Obama a little bit there with that Cancer 7th house. So unless you deal with those moon issues, this motherhood thing, you're not going to really be able to connect with your partner like that, because they're very maternal. Even if they're a man or whatever, then you got to deal with this moon stuff, because there's something there, emotional blockages around that. So that's kind of what I see for you. Life purpose, definitely any of the things that I named, but also an advocate. So like advocating for other people is going to be a really big part of your because you're like a leader. You're somebody who can stand up for others who can't stand up for themselves. So that's kind of what your chart, and also like big business as well, and also esoteric. You're not going to be able to avoid it. So you have karma in the occult with the Saturn and the Fucus there. Being a healer, even if you do it just for your family or yourself, you're going to be in it. Okay, so I hope that gives you a good picture idea of who you are and why you came here. Pretty balanced chart. I mean, I don't see anything here that makes you nuts or crazy. I mean, you have really strong spiritual powers, though. Candle work will be definitely something you would be lit with. Mars and Pisces, yeah, very spiritual. I call that the Harry Potter placement, Mars and Pisces, because that's just a magical ass placement. Like, you can really manifest some shit with that. So you're actually very spiritually powerful. Like, you'll find that you can manifest your dreams. Vision boards are also going to be lit for you too. Like a vision board that you can see every day. Hell yeah. You're going to visualize some shit into reality with that placement. Also great storybook writer too with that too. Okay, so I could go on all day, but that's just kind of a brief synopsis of what you got going on there. So I'm going to move on to, I think this is Carissa. I hope I'm saying her name right. I don't know if she's on here. You're welcome, Brittany. Carissa. So I don't know if she's on here or not. Ooh. Is Carisha on here? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and read her chart anyway. If she hops on, great. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. Is this another dragon? Yeah, what's up with these? I got dragons, horses, I think are the most, dragons, tigers, dragons and tigers. Dragon women and tiger women are like, they follow me like crazy. 76, 88, 86. That's another big one. What's up, Supreme? Okay, so what we got going on here for Carissa? I hope I'm saying your name right. I don't know. But, so yes, you are also a dragon, which is a little bit of a... It's interesting. I like it because you have so much. If you can see up here, you have a fucking ton of Virgo in your goddamn chart. Okay. If you guys book right now, it's going to be done the next live. I don't have any slots for tonight left. But if you guys book tonight, you will go for the next one that I do on Thursday. So, you guys have plenty of time to get on the list, y'all. I can't. I'm not extending it because I already got a good bit to get through. So, all right, so with all these Virgo placements, it's kind of cool that you actually have a dragon year because it means that you are able to stand up for yourself. You got a little bit of yang energy to help you out there because all these Virgo placements definitely kind of makes you more of a humble person, and not in a bad way or a good way. Humble is, some people don't like the word, some people do like it. It just depends on who you are as a person. So that yang energy that you have in your chart actually helps you stand up for yourself, place boundaries, be active, assert yourself, etc., etc. Okay, so you have an ascendant. Your ascendant is in a Fucus here, so you came here to be a healer. You came here to learn the art of healing through esoteric, okay, through the occult, whatever you want to call it. You could definitely be a Reiki healer or a medium, a tarot reader. You're going to be in the esoteric somehow. You're going to be put in positions where you're going to be guided to this, whether it's because you feel like you need to get knowledge from the esoteric, like getting an astrology reading or a tarot reading. So it's going to introduce you to it. Life is going to push you in this direction, like to psychic readers and astrologers, to the point where you wind up being a part of it yourself. So you're already here. You're already in the dark side now that you've got an astrology reading, among, I'm sure, other things that you've gotten. So too late, you're here, and it's cool because you're supposed to be here, so it works out. This will also be how you make money with Venus there. In a Fucus means you'll make money through healing or music, usually artistry, but it can be healing. Healing is an art as well. That's why you got so many people copying other people's, way they heal themselves, because it's like it's specific to that person. Everybody has their unique way of doing things, and people be copying that shit. So the way that you heal yourself and others with that a fucus energy here is how you're going to be making money. So I definitely feel like mediumship or tarot, psychic work, healing work is in your path. You came here to experience it, like I said. So you might want to just go ahead and get into it if you're not already, because it will help increase your finances as well with Venus being here. You also have a moon in Capricorn, which I have. So moon in Capricorn, I'm very familiar with. It's a business placement. Moon in Capricorn is hard to deal with. It makes you very dark. Yes, it's the best way to put it, because the moon hates being in Capricorn. It's its opposite sign, right? The moon is all feelings and, nurturing. It's the mother, right? And the cat in Capricorn represents father energy. Honestly, that's a common myth, but Taurus is more like fatherly and paternal. Actually, Leo takes the cake in that realm, but Capricorn's actually feminine energy, and a lot of people don't know that, but it's actually a yin sign. So it represents the masculine part of things, though. It's more of the paternal part of the family unit, okay? Because fathers are sentimental. Fathers do love their children. There's a big common misconception that, patriarchs are like these hard asses who don't love their kids, when in reality, Capricorn is actually the opposite side of Cancer, so it embodies Cancer placements. Capricorns are actually very emotional. And I'm talking about true Capricorns. I'm not talking about them them Sagittarians that be running around, them centaurs that be acting like they Capricorns. I'm talking about, the true Capricorn, like Oprah or, Ellen DeGeneres, these people who do have emotions, but they're very business-oriented, so it comes off very managed, and if it seems fake in a way because it seems like it's managed, which it is. Everything with Capricorn moons are very managed, especially their public persona, how they present themselves to people. It's very managed. You're only going to see what you want to with a Capricorn moon. And like I said, they're usually more of a darker placement, but it's because they were made for business. Their mother basically dealt with them in a very cold and transactional way. So these people kind of learn how to deal with their emotions that way. This also is a workaholic placement as well. So I guarantee you probably work a lot, especially since the moon is in the second house and in Capricorn. I dare say that you're probably you're addicted to money or earning money. Even if you have money, you're still addicted to trying to figure out how to make more or how to make your business successful. So that's something that you're going to run into. If you're working for yourself, that's a good placement to have, because then you're going to achieve a lot. But if you're working for someone, you're probably never going to be able to satiate that itch of wealth. So I would highly suggest getting into your own business if you're not already. Your part of fortune is also in Pisces. So spirituality is where you're going to make the most money. Okay, I don't care what type of spirituality you get into, even if it's traditional religion, getting into some sort of spiritual practice and making it your business is going to help you a lot. It's just going to go way easier for you. It's going to flow with your chart a lot better. Okay, also with all the Virgo in your chart, it makes you a teacher. So I would say teaching concepts of spirituality to people will also help you, especially things like yoga. Being that you have a dragon year, your dragons are athletes naturally. What's that chick that Sha'Carri Richardson? She's a dragon. Dragon women are usually athletic because, again, that's an Aries year. So anything with the body. So you could also get into Tai Chi or anything that has to do with spiritual concepts in the body coming together, like yoga would be great. And you could also teach that to people. Also healthy eating because of all the Virgo. You got a Virgo North Node, so you're meant to be a teacher naturally. It's you're going to heal yourself through a lot of this stuff and then teach it to other people if you're not already at that point. But I would definitely say just because you have a Virgo sun, but also just being that your North Node is in Virgo, holistic healing is going to be important. Healing the body from within, not just curing things, not just medicating, but actually curing things, but with herbs and healthy foods, and teaching people about vegetarianism and shit like that. Very smart because you research a lot of shit. You're very smart. This is why you would be a teacher, because you know a lot of shit. You just sit around and you research stuff. Mercury in Virgo is like very intelligent. It's a know-it-all placement, definitely. Like, you're like the person's like, actually, no, this and this and this, because I looked this up. And you're always Googling shit. You're always the type who's going to create a home remedy for something before you go to the doctor. That's like very Virgo. And also, like, growing things is also a good thing for you. You would be a great mediator too. So counseling, Mars in Libra. Mars hates being in Libra. Obviously, it's opposite area because Mars rules Aries. But when it is in Libra, it's a very good at mediating things, very good at calming disputes. So anything that has to do with mediating, whether that's on a diplomatic scale, like, you know, a large scale, or just throughout your community, whatever. Also beauty stuff. So Mars in Libra also means that you can make shit pretty. So I always say with people with Libra placements like that, you guys can get into event planning or interior design, even fashion. Okay. Ninth house in Leo. The only thing with you is, again, you are kind of someone who likes to, what do I want to say, kind of play it in the background. Who is Bubbles can't be soggy? Who's that? Because we're not Russian. But yeah, you're kind of somebody who likes to kind of play in the background. But with Leo in the ninth house here, you definitely need to learn how to kind of put yourself out there more. So going to things like improv classes or, you know, acting classes or anything that has to like make you put yourself out there more, and learning how to do that is actually going to help, because a lot of stuff that you're going to want to do is stuff that you're going to have to be able to be in front of people or be seen. So that's going to be something you want to work on, is being okay with being seen or performing for people with this Leo in the ninth house, learning how to deal with large crowds or presenting things to people, being a leader, actually. Because, again, you have a lot of placements that say you want harmony, and sometimes being a leader is being the one who kind of start shit, initiate shit, and you kind of are straying away from that. So just work on personal power and work on asserting yourself. That will help. Now, when it comes to your love life, you need a very stable partner with seventh house ruled by Taurus. I would definitely say you cannot be with anybody who's broke. So just, it's okay if people try to give you a hard time about it. It's in your astrology chart. So you ain't got to date nobody broke. It's all right. You ain't got to try to rearrange nobody or build nobody's person up. If they're not coming with stability, then they're not your person. Okay. These are people who already have assets. They're stable. So you need a very stable partner. And that's just, honestly, you come from like a nobility. It's kind of in your past life. So dating anyone who doesn't have that stability is just not going to work with your chart. Yeah, you want someone stable, like somebody who likes to, like very stable, like somebody who doesn't like to take risk. So you're going to need somebody who's like somebody who's probably already into real estate, or they already have several businesses. They have like very stable money that's long. Taurus is like generational wealth. So I would definitely say you need to date men or women who are in higher tax brackets, because I feel like you're very domestic. You're a great wife. Like you have a very great like wife energy because of this Juno and Virgo. So you're going to need somebody who's more, they ain't worried about if they have to take care of the bills. Very patriarchal type of person who would want to take care of the bills anyway, probably already doing it. So you would need somebody who's more financially stable, because you're going to be someone who kind of works from home and does like a lot of your stuff is going to be side projects. They're going to be your businesses, but it's like stuff that you do on the side because you're going to be really devoted to your family or your spouse, and not in a bad way. But this is like a homemaker type of energy. Okay. Yeah, because your North Node is in Virgo, so it's like you came here to be more of service to people, because in past lives you were very self-oriented, like too self-oriented. So it's okay to be of service to people, especially your family, but also you're going to have to learn how to be okay with being in front of people and kind of setting yourself apart at the same time. So it's like you're going to have to kind of learn balance, because you got a chart that has like Virgo here, you've got Leo up here, then you got Aries here. It's like you got shit all over your chart. So you're going to have to balance this fire earth stuff you got going on. It's like mainly fire and earth. Earth likes to be more reserved, but fire likes to get shit started. So I say learning a balance between those two, like having a fitness regimen or something like that, but also, you know, having a garden at the same time and being able to craft, that's going to help balance out your chart. Like I said, a stable partner. So somebody who could be like a Gemini in Western, but they'd be a Taurus in sidereal. Or you could date like late Septembers. They might be Libras in Western. Those would be good people for long-term relationships for you. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Carissa. I'm sorry, I did Brittany. But Carissa, I'm going to move on to the next person. But yeah, that's your chart. That's pretty much what you got going in a nutshell. All right, so Jackie is up next. I don't know if Jackie's on here. Jackie's birthday is April 3rd, was April 3rd. Happy belated. All right. Is Jackie on here? Okay, she's here. Cool. So we're about to move your chart to the 13 signs wheel. And there we go. So let's see what we got going on here. So let's see. Okay, so you are Pisces here, Sidereal. You got strong Pisces energy in your chart because you got Sun in the 12th house, which is basically like a Pisces placement, and then you have your Sun is literally in Pisces, so it's like double Pisces energy. The cool thing is, though, you have Aries rising, so you do have some placements in Aries, and you have Venus in Aries, so you do have like a good dynamic. The only thing is that water fire thing, and I told you guys about that recently. Like water and fire to me is one of the hardest combinations to deal with. It's very hard to deal with. It makes you very moody, very emotionally imbalanced because you're dealing with fire and water. So it's like anger, but then like the rush of water behind it, or being super impulsive because you're emotional. So this will like be, it's like, you know, what am I trying to say? It's like impulsive spending is another thing, or like emotional, like being emotional and doing things in the moment based off of your emotions. This is going to be a really big problem for you that you're going to have to deal with, is doing things like emotionally, either good or bad, spur of the moment. You do things based off of how you're feeling at the moment. So that's going to be something you're going to have to deal with. And I would tell you the best thing for you to deal with that is meditation and yoga, because it will help you calm yourself down, especially when you're about to make huge decisions or you're impulsive, angry, whatever. You're going to have to figure out how to slow yourself down before you make decisions, because you're going to be very, very revved up with that Venus in Aries, and also very self-oriented with that Venus in Aries. Some people might even call you selfish, or call some of the actions that you make selfish, which is not a good or a bad thing. Aries is there for a reason. Like Aries represents the self and is a selfish sign. It plays its part. So just learning how to balance that will help you out a lot. And like I said, yoga, if you're not already doing that, or sound bowls, meditation, something like chanting to calm your ass the fuck down. That's kind of what, you know. But Aries rising means that you are experiencing how to put yourself first. You're experiencing how to be more selfish. These people tend to be overgivers, very codependent. And it's sweet at first. Like my son has an Aries rising. He's very sweet. But it gets to the point where you get too worried about what people say. And not everybody, but people that you care about, people that you love, or people that you're in a relationship with. You know, so what I will say is, anytime where you feel like you need to assert yourself or go your own way, lead, do your own thing, that's going to be very important. Don't always worry about what your mom thinks, or what your brother, your sister, your person, your spouse. You're going to be always met with that issue of putting other people's thoughts or other people's needs before yours. So make sure that you are, as much as it makes sense to, putting yourself first. because it tends to lend to too much codependency, especially when you wind up getting married. Like, it will, if you don't already have that fixed before you get married, you're definitely going to be like one of those, which again isn't good or bad, but let me check with my husband, let me check with my husband, let me check with my person, every little fucking thing. And that's not what marriage is all about. Yes, you can consult with your spouse as much as you fucking want to, but for every little thing and not being able to create your own persona, it tends to, you wind up basically being usurped into someone that you're not. You have a hard time figuring out who you are as a person. So make sure that you find out who you are and you're totally 100% solid in that when you're dealing with friendships and relationships, okay? Aries rising also, they tend to wind up being into like physical fitness, like fighting, any type of sports. Yeah, like, you need to really start to assert yourself. So getting, like, my oldest is in boxing, right? He's in boxing because he's more of a peacekeeper. But he will fight, though. That's the thing. Aries rising, they will fight. You just need to be able to train yourself to get that out. So I would say getting into something contact related or something physical like sports will really help you bring that Aryan energy out. Dancing as well, using the physical body. Because Aries is a warrior energy, okay? When people are dancing, they're going to war in a sense. Like, Aries people, like Chris Brown is such a great dancer because he's a true Aries. So Aries people are very good with moving the body. So doing physical stuff on the regular is going to be important for you. Sports, anything like that. Anything that has to do with, like, power, body, you know? So there's some other things here. Yeah, you definitely got to get that codependency shit under control because you've got Jupiter in Libra and it's retrograde. So it really affected your soul in a past life. Like, also will affect your prosperity in this life if you give away too much of your personal power. So really get that codependency. Like, if you're addicted to relationships, like, I just got to be in a relationship, I just love. Like, if you're like that, it's shit's going to fuck you up, man. So just get that shit together. Because Jupiter retrograde is no joke. It's so funny. My son has Jupiter retrograde too. Like, are y'all the same person? Like, what the fuck? But yeah, it really affects goodness of the soul and also affects money. Jupiter retrograde also indicates that if you're trying to, like, learn something, you're better off doing it in a non-traditional way. Like, Jupiter retrograde doesn't like traditional education. So if you're learning something, you're better off learning it in some sort of unorthodox way. Like, for instance, my son is homeschooled. He does not, Jupiter retrograde. He does not do traditional education. So Jupiter retrograde is a pretty big sign of somebody who is going to learn through another means better. Now, you might have to wind up going to school or something, but it's not the best way for you to learn things, okay? I'm saying that because you're kind of still fairly young, so, you know, you might need to know that going forward. Your Saturn is in Aquarius, so obviously you are here to bring knowledge to the collective. You are part of that Aquarian age that everyone keeps talking about, which we're not in yet. We will be in Aquarian age in about 2023 as we're coming up on that. So you're a part of that starseed movement. You're a part of the new age. So teaching about astrology, like just basically what's going on in the world, you're a part of that wave. So a teacher, but like the revolution of this, like... So I would say definitely if you want to get into astrology, that would be really good. You got Moon in Sagittarius, so your mom was pretty smart. Your mom was also pretty spiritual as well. So you're not new to spiritual stuff. You're not new to it. With the sun in Pisces, it makes you very psychic. So I would say you'd probably be a really good psychic here, or at least a therapist. Definitely somebody who can help people through emotional traumas. Mars in Aquarius, though, that's a good placement, though, because with that Pisces sun, Mars in Aquarius, you can actually keep a routine. Like, you can actually be pretty solid, so that's good. When you got Mars in Aquarius, that's usually like a military placement, so you're actually good with routine and shit. It won't probably kick in too much until after your Saturn return, which is coming up. You're probably feeling your Saturn return. It's, like, looming, but, yeah, you're really good with routines and shit, like, structure. So that's hard for Pisces, especially sun in the 12th house. You guys are really It's really hard for you guys to maintain routine and structure, but with you having Mars and Aquarius there, you actually are good with that. You will be good with that. So that's a good thing. Also, YouTube would be great for you, being a YouTuber. You got Saturn in 11th house, so you have karma in, you've got karma in the internet. I know that sounds crazy, but literally you have to be a part of the internet wave and like teaching on the internet. Like Aquarius is a teacher. It's a knowledge bringer. So you might be like a tarot reader who doesn't show their face or something. Like you might just show your hands or something. The reason why I say that is because you got Sun in the 12th house. And I always talk, like I tell you guys all the time, that's a serial killer placement. I tell you all the time. Sun in the 12th house, you guys are afraid of the spotlight. You guys don't like being out in the public eye. So I could definitely see you being on the internet, but maybe you wouldn't reveal your identity right away. It would have to be something you worked up to. But I would say definitely astrology and psychic work would be really good for you if you want to talk about some talents. I literally hate the internet. Yeah, well, it's karma. That's what karma is, the shit we don't want to do, okay? Karma is not the shit you want to do, right? Karma is when they're like, okay, so who want to sign up for the internet teacher? And you don't put your hand up, but somebody volunteer you. Like, bitch, why you volunteering me? Did I say anything when it was time for you to pick your Saturn, bitch? Why are you volunteering me for my Saturn? And they like, you know what, Jackie? Actually, I think you would be great for this. Let me sign you up. You like, hold the fuck up. Saturn is that. Saturn is the shit you ain't really want to do. So, especially when it's not retrograde. Saturn retrograde is an indicator that you actually chose it because you wanted to fix something. Saturn direct means that your ass definitely didn't choose that shit. So, I'm sorry, but Saturn doesn't do the thing. He don't give a fuck. Okay, what we like and what we don't like. So that's the tough part. But and you got a Leo Chiron and it's retrograde. Yeah, you really, really, really don't like the spotlight. I can see that. So I would say just do something where you can keep your identity hidden as much as you want. That's cool. Like with Saturn being in Aquarius, he's cool with you not being known. Like he's cool with you using a pseudonym or some shit with Saturn in Aquarius. He's not asking you to be a Leo. He's not asking you to be known. He's asking you to be known for your art or your knowledge base. So it's cool. Like even if you write something to use a pseudonym or something, like he's cool with that. But I feel like the more you grow up, you're going to have fun with being more out in the open because your 5th house was ruled by Leo. So I think the more you actually tap into your artistic abilities, because like you'd be a great painter with this. Leo 5th house is like great painters, great creativity. So once you start to tap into that, I think you will start to show yourself a little bit more. So, but just know when you're about to hit 30, when you're getting closer to 30, you're going to start getting this pull to start social media. Just do it. Just don't resist it because then your ass going to wind up with other issues, okay? But yeah, so I would say those are some of your talents. Moon in Sagittarius, very smart. Also a prophet. Moon in Sagittarius are people who can predict the future because they're just very worldly people. They are very good with wisdom, is like gurus. They're very much gurus. Very funny too. Moon in Sagittarius people are hilarious. My youngest son has Moon in Sag and he's funny. Very optimistic as well. So you would definitely be some like a preacher, like people who can uplift others. Moon in Sagittarius and in the 9th house. Yes, gang. I got Moon in the 9th house. Know-it-alls. Know-it-alls unite. Yes. Okay. Big know-it-all energy. Love it. Okay. Bougie. That's the bougie placement. That's why I be like, that's why people tell me I talk all proper and shit. Damn right I'm gonna use the right word. And damn right I'm gonna use a word that you gotta look up, bitch. So what? Anyway, 10th house in Capricorn. So your career is really important. I would definitely say you're going to be in the public eye in some way. Either your art, either what you contribute to the world is going to be in the public eye or you literally are. So just already accept that. Moon in North Node in Libra. So also could be a lawyer too. Yeah, you'd be a great lawyer. Fuck out of here. You'd be a great lawyer. Like Mars in Aquarius. Oh yeah. And that North Node in Libra and Moon in 9th house with Sagittarius, you would be that lawyer that brings out the Black's Law Dictionary from like 1653 and like brings up a law that no one knew happened. Like you're that type of lawyer. You would be a great lawyer because you'd be like, people would hate going against you because like, can we even beat her? You would be like a great debater or something like that. With that placement, but definitely a great lawyer and advocating for people. So you would be like the type of person to go after like slumlords or like crooked businesses and shit like that and just like eat them up in court. Definitely. That's where you can use that Libra, like loving and caring about people, is advocating for them when they can't advocate for themselves, but not like usurping their problems, because that's going to cause issues with your prosperity. Now, as far as your love life is concerned, Juno in Virgo, so you have like this oxymoron where you want to settle down and want to have children, you want to get married, and then you have this time where you don't. So because Juno's retrograde. So in a past life, you could have, it's like something about your past life made you resent partnership. Your soul is like, actually, fuck ever being in a partnership ever again. It's really trying to reject it, but also it's a part of you. It can't. Like, your soul is like, actually, we don't ever have to be married again. Because it feels like what happened in a past life, you were dealing with somebody who pushed you into being like their subordinate. Like, you were supporting someone else. You were someone's support system. You were never the main, you know what I'm saying? Like those wives who support their, you know, like, have you ever seen Love and Basketball, which I hate that movie. It's like so anti-female. Like, I don't understand why everybody loves that movie. Even the way that her dad was treating her mom, like, you know, he asked her which shirt and then going to tell her, like, both of the wives. And, you know what I'm saying? The way that the wives were treated in that movie, it kind of feels like you were treated like that. Like, you were treated like just a laundry, you know what I'm saying? Like, just a wife. Like, all you did was, like, take care of the children and your husband. So it feels like that's kind of what you're rejecting in this life. Like, you're going to run away from it. But it's like, you're not going to really be able to do that. So you're going to have to accept the side of you that actually wants to be domesticated. Yeah, that's like, because the Juno and Virgo here, it's like, it's in retrograde. So in like a past life, you were definitely probably more of a supportive. Yeah, that's probably why you hate the spotlight too. That could be why too. Because you never really experienced it. You were more of a supporting person. But it's like, you need to, that's not really where you're going to go with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, in this life, it's more so you're going to be more about you. Yes, you can be in a partnership and you're going to have to accept the part of you that actually likes to be domesticated and support people, but you're going to have to put boundaries on it. And that's what scares you, because you're like afraid to go back into that role. But if you have good boundaries and you learn how to be more Aries-like, which you think you are, right? Because you're 4-3, everybody who's born the first week of 8, they swear they're Aries, the biggest fucking crybabies ever. But anyway, you're gonna have to accept that you do like that, and that's or it's gonna cause issues with you in marriage, because you're gonna reject partnership as much as possible. Even if you get married, it's gonna, like, you're gonna wind up starting to resent it if you don't have healthy boundaries around this is me and this is you. You know what I'm saying? So I would say fall men would be good. Maybe find men who are more domestic than you. So I'd say like late September would be a good, those type of men. And you're going to also attract like Taurus men, you know, like the fake Taurus, but they're really Aries. So like early, like around I would say early May, like early May or late April. Those people you're going to be physically attracted to, or like more superficially attracted to, but those are not good partnerships. Those motherfuckers are going to trigger the hell out of you. You need people who are more the opposite, like people born more in the fall, like September men or October men, you know, more chill. So them Aries, them Taurus motherfuckers, leave them alone. They going to be good for a good time, but long run is going to trigger your ass. They're going to trigger you because they're too selfish and you can't handle it. Like, you're going to be like, oh, I want to be selfish, but nah. Once you experience it, you're like, I can't deal with this shit. Because your chart is just like an enigma. But you have like placements everywhere. You've got air, you've got fire, you've got earth. So you kind of have like a healthy balance of everything. All right. So I'm going to leave that there. I hope that helped, Jackie. I'm going to move on though to the next person, because I'm already kind of been on here for a while, but this is what I do. So I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 more left. I think I don't know if Ashley sent in her information. I was going to do hers, so that might be 5, but we'll just see. So the next person is Gemma. I don't know if Gemma is in here. Gemma has a noon chart, so I'm gonna let you know now. No problem, Jackie. Your chart is not going to be as long as everyone else's, because with the noon chart, I can't go as deep. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. So I'll do yours, but I have to do yours after a couple more people. So I appreciate your patience. Okay. I just want to make sure everybody gets a good reading. So, Gemma, like I said, I am going to, I'm going to post this, but I'm going to post it on, YouTube because it's going to be too long for me to post on Instagram. So if you guys want to see it, it's going to be on YouTube. All right. 13 Signs Tarot on YouTube. Because this is going to be too long to post on Instagram. Okay. So, Gemma, let's see. So Gemma, are you September, hold on. No, I didn't do yours yet. Okay, so, Gemma, are you, September 5th or May 9th? Which one are you? Because I know y'all write y'all dates different than us. So I just want to make sure before I get into this chart which one you are. September 5th. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. All right. So, as you can see, what the hell is over there falling? Lord. Okay, so as you can see, when I change the chart over to 13 signs, your sun is in Leo. So, naturally, obviously, the September Leo is a little bit more humble than the August Leo. They're both Leo, though, but the September is not going to... Am I talking to two different people, or am I talking to the same person? Because I'm getting two different answers. Who am I talking to? Whose chart is this? Whose chart is this? Okay, well, I don't know whose chart this is, if it's Emmanuel's or I Am Sammy, but I'm doing Gemma, so I don't know who is who. But, okay. So, pretty much, okay, cool. So, pretty much, with a sun in Leo, like I said, September Leos tend to be more, okay, I just wanted to make sure I had the right person. That's cool. So, you guys tend to be a little bit more humble than the August Leo. So it's like a lot of people, you guys can kind of get away with the whole I'm a Virgo thing. But I think you can see it in you guys as well. You guys have a lot of pride. You guys are usually pretty well put together, pretty responsible, pretty fixed in nature, okay? Again, you tend to be a little bit more mutable than the August, but I can usually see the Leo and September people. They do have that same energy. They still have a very strong energy, okay? I do feel like they are a little bit more humble, but I mean, Beyonce is September 4th. So yeah, she's humble, but I mean, it's also fucking Beyonce. So when she performs, when she shows up, when she's, in her bag, that's when you can totally see that fiery expression, that creative ability, that ability to wow a bunch of fucking people, control a bunch of people, influence a bunch of people. That is that Leo quality. That is that star quality. So you guys have it just as much as the August, but I think you guys are a little bit more humble than the August. So a lot of people tend to loop you guys in with Virgos. However, like I say, Virgos are very powerful as well. But they tend to be different. Like, the best way to describe this would be, I hate to use Jada Pinkett Smith because everybody's against her, but Jada is a Virgo and Beyonce is a Leo. They're very similar, but they're different, okay? Like, the star quality is totally different. The performative abilities are totally different. So it's very similar in a way, very calm, very nice people. But they're strong. September Leos are very strong. So very good with creative abilities. I love the way that you guys dress, the way that you guys put yourself together. Also make very great leaders as well. Very good with children and the family environment. Okay, I find that you guys are really good with the family environment. You love taking care of children or taking care of your people, like being that person to take care of everyone and just, you know, make sure that everyone's good. Very paternal type of energy, but very regal too, very royal. Very dutiful too. Like one of my best friends, he actually was killed. He was a Marine. Well, he was actually in the Navy. He was September 7th, and he actually gave his life for someone else. So very heroic, and he was just very dutiful, very like that heroic person that's going to do that thing for everyone or take care of everyone. So you guys, I always see you guys as very heroic people, always willing to do the right thing, very generous too. That's another thing that you'll find, especially with September Leos, very, very generous people, always trying to give to people, always trying to make sure that people are okay. So that's one thing I love about September Leos as well. So you actually have a Mercury in Leo. It's in retrograde though. So with Mercury being in retrograde, I always tell Mercury retrogrades, if you're ever trying to like mentally digest anything, like if you're ever trying to like learn anything, whether this be life lessons or some sort of practical education, you need to do it during a Mercury retrograde, because that is when things are actually more like they're actually more clear for you because you were born during a Mercury retrograde. So when you have Mercury direct, Mercury retrograde suck for you, right? Because Mercury is going backwards. You don't really understand that energy. But when you are born during a Mercury retrograde, that's normal to you. It's actually when Mercury is direct, when things are actually kind of different. You'll find yourself disorganized, and it's very hard for you to keep keep on top of things. And then during Mercury retrogrades, you have these moments of clarity. You tend to Mercury retrogrades don't tend to be as bad for you as they are for other people. That's because you were born during that time. So just make sure that when you are trying to like really learn something or really grasp something, you do it during a Mercury retrograde, because that's going to be a lot easier for you to process on a mental level. Okay. But either way, because you have Mercury and Leo, you're very strong-minded anyway. You're the type of person that it doesn't even matter. You have the mental power to push through anything. Very strong mental power. Like I have Mercury and Leo, so I know. Very strong communicators. No one likes arguing with the Mercury and Leo. Forget about it. Like, you're not going to win, so just get over it. Even if I'm wrong, I'm going to be right. My Leo Mercury overpowers you so much that I'm going to be right. So at this point, you might as well just let it go. But very strong mental power. So with Mercury and Leo, you can do tasks for a very long, long time and without getting tired. You have the mental strength to outwork people, especially when you're doing stuff that involves the mind. Okay, so very powerful. Also great storytellers. Mercury and Leos make great storytellers. People love hearing. So obviously great musicians, writers, great tarot readers as well. Because you are really good at telling a story. It's very, people love hearing you talk. It's very engaging, okay? Also, Mercury and Leo make great screenwriters, great actors themselves, but also great, like screenwriters or playwriters, because they're very performative and they understand the performing arts very well. So that's something as well. And singers, too. Mercury and Leos make very, very powerful singers because they have really strong voices. Like, the boys call me Aslan. When I do they call my Aslan voice. And if you ever seen Chronicles of Narnia, you know what I'm talking about. When Aslan, he be projecting that shit. So very strong voice as well. Your Juno is conjunct a lot of your placements up here. So I would say a relationship is pretty important for you. I would actually say you might deal with somebody who's in the public eye or somebody who's in a very prominent position with your Juno and Leo. So you could date somebody who's like an executive, or if they're not literally famous or known in some way, they would be like a figurehead. They would be somebody who's high ranking. They could even be in the military, but they would definitely be somebody who has a lot of authority because they're a Leo. Like, you have a Leo energy here. So you would probably deal with somebody who's in like an authoritative positions. Being with anybody who kind of isn't, I don't want to say alpha, but a strong energy is probably not going to work. You're going to need a very strong partner because you're a very strong person. Like, you're going to need somebody to match that. So I would honestly say people born around the same time as you would be good, or August, Virgos, which are really Leos, those would be really got good connections for you when it comes to like relationships. And the reason why I'm bringing up your relationship already is because your Juno is conjunct your sun. So Juno is your asteroid of marriage. It's already connected to your soul. So your soul came here to experience a marriage or a partnership. Okay, it's very important, more so than other people who don't have that placement. Okay. Moon in Sagittarius, so you got another fire energy, kind of everything I was saying about Moon in Sagittarius. Prophets, people who are really good at predicting the future or saying what's going to happen, gurus, preachers, really good uplifters because you're very optimistic. So you would really be good with like helping people. You have very angelic energy, like also disarming people. So you're like really good with like comedian. So like if somebody's having a hard day or someone's going through a lot, you're definitely somebody who can give somebody like that comic relief. So anything performative would also work for you, like being an influencer or being on YouTube or something like that. Yeah, you're even born 84, and that's the year of the rat, which is Sagittarian energy. So you're also a traveler. I would definitely tell you to be someone who travels a lot. Like, if you don't already travel, you would need to travel because Jupiter is in Sagittarius. So that will open up a lot of prosperity for you, traveling to different countries a lot, or be like even having like a travel blog or something. That would do really well for you. Saturn is in Libra. So Saturn and Libra make really good business people. See, you might want to being an executive of something, or dating or like marrying an executive or of something like a business. Because like Saturn and Libra are moguls. Like Saturn and Libra tend to be like business moguls. Like what's his name? Bill Gates is Saturn and Libra, and like Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg. Like, so big business. You know what I'm saying? So like, but Saturn and Libra make great business people because they're really good with contracts. Also great lawyers. Make a great lawyer too. Yeah, definitely with all this Leo, like you would definitely be a great advocate for people because you have a lot of fierce energy too. Very strong, again, mental power, but also you can be diplomatic. You can be very diplomatic as well. So you're always going to give people, you're always going to try to be fair. Saturn loves being in Libra. Like, he loves being in Libra. So any type of judgy thing where you can judge something, so like an inspector or someone who judges the quality of something, that would be a really good talent for you. Like saying if something is quality or if it's up to code or something like that, that would be really good for you. You're definitely like a clipboard person, like checking off shit. Like, nope, that's not right. So very meticulous, I would say there. And also could deal with the beauty industry as well. Modeling, Saturn in Libra also has to do with beauty. Or working with women, advocating for women might be something else there too. So let's see, North Node. Where's your North Node? It's in Taurus. So you definitely want to accumulate some wealth here. I would definitely say if you're not already into like real estate or owning land, I would definitely tell you get into that, because there's something here about you spending money really fast. Like, you might spend money as quick as you get it or something like that. So there's a need for you to heal your long-term potential with money. Like, if you have a problem with spending money, I would definitely tell you to invest it. Like, be an investor or somebody who puts money away so that it will earn you money in the long run. Like, you definitely have to heal something around long-term wealth. And that's because really probably in past lives, you were really more focused on spiritual stuff. Like, you were more focused on spiritual knowledge or accumulating spiritual wealth, which is basically, knowing shit, being able to heal others. That's great, but it's like your spirit wants you to, your soul wants to experience tangible wealth, like earthly wealth. So I would definitely tell you get into investments or real estate or stuff that's going to make you money in the long term, like make you very wealthy in the long run. That's actually something you came here to heal, because you didn't have attachments to money in past lives, which is cool. But this, I'm not saying be attached to money, but it's saying like make sure that you're stable and work on your spending habits, because I find that Chiron and Taurus, you guys don't like to hold on to things, so you just get rid of it. Very much like transformative, very much the type that like may not want to own a house because of the commitment behind it, not being able to change at will. Like, you need to be someone who works on putting down roots, because you might be a little bit too much of a yogi here. So it's cool to travel, but make sure you have like some stable real estate somewhere, some roots, put some roots down. Okay, so I can't really get into your ascendant and stuff like that because I don't have your exact time of birth. So I can't really get into like the rising. I can't really get into your house rulers and stuff because I don't have the exact time of birth. So it's not going to be like accurate. But that's kind of what I'm pulling from the chart, just from the noon chart. I try to pull as much as I can without the time of birth. You might also like astrology too. Astrology might be something else, or like charts, anything that has to do with like patterns. So even stocks, that might be something that could help you with this Chiron and Taurus, like stocks and investments and stuff like that. Okay. So I hope that this makes sense. I hope that it gave you some clarity. I try to do the best I can, like I said, without having the exact time, because there's certain things I can't pull out. But yeah, it's a pretty strong chart though. Like, it's definitely very powerful. But also very freeing. Like, you have like, once you master this, wealth thing here, it's kind of open. Like, you can kind of do whatever you want with this Leo energy here. He's got like the Midas touch and the willpower to get anything you want, really. So really dope chart. I like it. I hope you enjoyed it, but I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. So this is Norma. I saw Norma hop on earlier. No problem. Norma, she hopped on earlier, so I don't know if she went off or came back on. I know she was on like a lot earlier. So keep in mind, like I said, guys, this is going to be posted on YouTube. So it's not going to be posted on Instagram. It's going to be way too long for me to post on Instagram. Okay, so Norma's here. Cool. And then I got to do Chantel. I got to do Janelle, and then Stacy, and then Ashley. Okay, so I'm getting through them, guys. I'm actually going to do a timer next time so I can time them, and I can probably go a little bit faster. But anyway, so Norma, let's go ahead and get into your chart here. So we have an Aquarius rising. Oh, that explains why you gave me your birth time in military time. That explains it with the Aquarius rising. Were you in the military, or were you a military brat? Where did that come from? So the Aquarius rising, I wouldn't be surprised if you actually were in the military or you were associated with the military in some way. But I hope that makes sense. I don't know, but I got 2112. So was that the time you meant to put in? I just want to make sure before I get into this, because the time does matter. I just want to make sure that was the time that you meant to put in. Did you meant to put in, you didn't mean to put, so what did you mean to put in there? Was it 212? Because I got 2112. You meant to put in 212? All right, so oh, you meant to put in 2112? Okay, cool. So I don't know why. Maybe you should have been in the military, because Aquarius rising, you would have been good for the military. But anyway, so cool. Have the right one in there. So pretty much, healing is a part of your life path, period. Like mediumship, you probably see spirits. If you don't, I'd be very surprised. Because mediumship, healing work, psychic work, that is in your life purpose. It's what you're meant to do. Spirituality, okay? Aquarius rising would be a great astrologer as well. Learning astrology. Of course, this is something that you're going to have to learn. You're going to be put in situations where you have to teach people, or you have to bring knowledge to others in some way with Aquarius rising. So it feels like people just automatically come to you because they think you know shit. Like, people just automatically feel like you know stuff. So it's like kind of just going with the flow of your chart. You're better off just kind of accepting that people have put you in this role of like an educator or like a spiritual influencer. So you also have Mercury in Leo in retrograde. So everything I just said about Gemma's chart with this Mercury in Leo in retrograde, same thing. Learning things during retrograde is important for you because you have a Mercury retrograde, but also very strong storyteller, very strong mental capacity. Okay, so I would definitely say you will tell, like, you're going to heal through storytelling a lot too. Like, so even if it's just what you've went through in life, like what you've experienced, but also through tarot, like telling people what the cards are saying. Okay, so I would definitely say if you're not in a tarot, you would definitely do well in tarot. Or any type of mediumship role where you're communicating with spirit or passing on messages from people who've passed on. Okay. Yeah, you're a natural teacher. You got Venus in Virgo, Mars in Virgo. Great. You're very good with your hands. You would definitely be someone who's very good with like growing things, nurturing things from a small state into a bigger state. So any type of growth, but definitely like gardening and plants, because you have a very nurturing personality. Like you got Moon in Virgo. You got a bunch of shit in Virgo. Okay. Even your North Node is in Virgo. So I'd say you're probably going to be a teacher in some way. Like, even if this is just like teaching your children the stuff that you learn, but you're naturally someone who's always teaching people. Okay. You also have Sun in true Cancer. So you're psychic. Okay. So that's another reason why you may need to get into tarot, is because you're actually psychic with the Sun truly in Cancer. And Mercury, yeah, you would be a bomb ass tarot reader. Like if you decided to pick up a deck, coupled with the ability to tell stories and, you know, the Cancer Sun, you're going to be very psychic, very good with communicating psychic messages and shit like that. Let's see. Chiron is in Aries, so you're also somebody who kind of likes to like be in the background a little bit. So that might be something you might want to work on too, is being okay with being apart from the crowd, because you're kind of somebody who doesn't like to be seen, or you don't really like to be out in the front. Okay, so there's a need to heal that as well, like getting active, being more in a leadership role, spearheading your own type of things, initiating things without, you know, having to have that support. Just being able to go out on your own and be independent. So that's something that you need to kind of heal, and that will help you out in a lot of things in your life. But I would say overall, your life purpose is to be a teacher. Yeah, now it doesn't have to be in a spiritual sense, but I will say with all this Ophiuchus and Scorpio at the top of your house, top of your chart, I would definitely say it's something spiritual. Like the more you learn about spirituality and the esoteric, the more you're going to want to teach it to other people, or people are going to ask you to teach them. People are going to come to you because they're going to see you as like a mentor. Aquarius is like a mentor. So you might actually wind up mentoring people or teaching them spiritual stuff. And you might already know some shit. You might already be pretty, you know, well versed in stuff, but maybe you keep it to yourself. But I would tell you, your best bet is just kind of opening up and sharing that with people. Yeah, because you have Jupiter and Gemini. You're very smart. Jupiter and Gemini is a genius placement. You're highly, highly intelligent. And you will actually make a lot of money through communicating. Jupiter and Gemini is a communicator's placement. I have that placement. So it makes you really, really good at speaking to a lot of different people. Also, your voice. People are going to really love your voice. Jupiter and Gemini is a teacher's a teacher's voice. Like people will tell you have a teacher's voice. Like I've heard that so many times, and I didn't know what the fuck that meant until I actually started like really teaching. I was like, oh, okay, I get what you're saying. So you have like the voice of a teacher. Literally, even Jupiter supports it. So I would say any type of role. Yeah, Cancer is also a teacher. It's literally the teacher placement. So, you know, if you don't teach literally for work, I would definitely say you need to be on YouTube or something. Like teaching people shit. Explaining things to people, breaking stuff down to people, because you have a really good way of translating stuff that's maybe harder for people to understand and making it very simple. Like you have a way of simplifying shit and making people understand things in a very easy way, which it makes a great teacher. Okay, Saturn is part of fortune is also in Sagittarius, so again, learning other cultures. You might be bilingual or something, or you might need to like learn different languages and stuff like that. If you already know different languages, that would be really good as well. That will really, really help, because then you can teach different cultures. Like if you have, like I think you are Hispanic, I'm pretty sure you are. But, you know, that having that, if you speak English or you speak another language, being able to teach in both cultures, that would really be dope for you. That would actually really, really expand your money. Yeah, Jupiter wants you to communicate for a living, and he will bless you. Like Jupiter is saying, if you start talking and put yourself out there, even if it's on, YouTube or do a podcast or something like that, you're going to start seeing a lot of money coming in for you. Like, part of fortune is basically that little spot in your chart that if you activate it, your shit is going to start moving for you. Okay. Also, with your Juno being up here in Sagittarius, let's talk about that. This kind of means that your person will be of a different culture than you. Normally, they'll be different than you in some way. Like, there might be a different age difference between the two of you, or they come from a different culture than you do. Like, my sister has Juno in Sagittarius, and she married somebody from Haiti. Like, she's American, he's Haitian. A lot of times with this Juno in Sagittarius, you marry someone who's different. Now, the only thing is, with it being retrograde, there could be some blockages there, especially if you guys are from like different cultures, or there's a really big difference in how you two were raised, or your belief systems. Like, maybe you're into, astrology and tarot, and then this person's like really religious and very strict about it, and they don't, accept that. That's where there might be challenges, because it feels like with Juno and Sagittarius here, with it being retrograde, it means like in a past life you were trying to marry somebody, but y'all couldn't get married, or you guys couldn't have a union because you were different cultures. Like, so you're gonna have that pop up again in this life a lot. Like, you might run into people who are super religious and they're not into like what you're into, or the opposite. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of feels like there's some karma around correcting that. Or if you're the one who's very much against dating outside your culture or your religion, that's going to be something that you need to heal. Okay? But I will say you might be attracted to Capricorns, because they would be Sages and Western. So I'd say like mid-Januaries. Also, I see like you might like Virgos, like mid-September Virgos, or like mid-September would be good matches for you too. They would be good for marriage. But definitely people who are like, I don't know, they're different than you in some way. Oh my God, you're so on point. That's good, because I ain't know if I was. I'll be getting feedback sometimes, so I don't know if I just be talking shit, but I'm glad I'm on point. So people who are different than you in some way, but also like very family-oriented people, but they're kind of free spirits at the same time. These are people who are like jacks of all trades, like people you can... they can have a home, but then they also could like travel to like Japan with you too. It's like people who are versatile. Like, you need a versatile partner. Okay. Somebody who's like creative and also open, like not a rigid person. Dating someone rigid is not going to work for you. Like, someone who's very strict about things and can't change their mind, that's not going to work. Yeah, because you're here to broaden people's mind. With Aquarius rising, it's like you're here to broaden people's mind. Like, Michael Jackson had Aquarius rising. And, you seen the shit that he got. Like, Mike was ahead of his time in a lot of ways. He was wearing the mask way before we was even thinking about that shit, okay? Mike was on the pandemic before the pandemic was even planned, okay? Yes, it was planned. So anyway, yeah, like, that's kind of what I see here. I mean, you're going to make your money, the most money, through teaching or crafting, Virgo type things, like growing shit, creating stuff with your hands. Like, you're very good with working with your hands. Like, you have gifted hands. And also very psychic and very good at knowing what people need. So you make a great hostess. Like, you do well with like creating, like having a restaurant. You'd be a great cook. Like, you would be a great host. So like, if you wanted to do a restaurant and chef shit up, have like different cultures on your menu or some shit like that, you do really well with that. Because you're like a homemaker. And there's not a lot in your chart that suggests that you won't like being a homemaker. There's a lot in your chart that suggests you actually would like being at home and doing a lot of stuff from home. Yes, you would like to travel though. Getting into other cultures is going to be important for you. It would actually make you money, but you actually would do a lot from your home, and that's cool. Like, Spirit is okay with you working from home. Honestly, with the 6th house ruled by Cancer, you don't need to leave your house. I mean, you can, obviously, it's healthy, but I mean, to work, you probably don't need to be working for anybody, because when you're at work, you're fucking sponge. You're grabbing everyone's energy. You're super psychic. So you're like, it's just not good, because you're intaking everybody's fucking energy. And with 6th house in Cancer, you would make more money working from home because 6th house is your house of work and it's ruled by Cancer. So your son's literally in the 6th house too. So you're really good with work and routines. Also, like animals, you would really do well with like animals. Like I would say, you would do very well with working with animals. And I would say you're probably somebody who can't see like a dead deer on the side of the road or like a dead animal. It would really fuck with you emotionally because you like animals. Like you would be a great pet advocate or like animal advocate. You don't like cruelty to animals. Definitely not children, but animals is a soft spot for you too. With that sun in the 6th house. Yeah, they would definitely. You would be a great dog whisperer. Like this placement is like Caesar Milan. Fuck yeah. That's that motherfucker right there. Like sun in Cancer with 6th house. Yeah, you're very psychically connected to animals. Okay, like you would be able to tell someone what's wrong with their animal. Like they would consult you and say, okay, why the fuck hasn't my cat eaten in 2 weeks? And it's like, bitch, because you changed her food and nobody asked you to. Did she ask you to change her food? No. Nobody asked you to do that. She liked what she had before. Like you'd be able to tell people that shit. So, yeah, very nurturing person though. Very nurturing, but you just need to share this with other people and heal other people with this because it's like you hoard it probably. But this is like Mother Mary and like very, spiritual, like an earth angel type of energy. Very angelic. Music too. You might be good with music. Very good singing voice and stuff. So that's kind of what I have for you, Norma. Get you a man who can do both. But you're going to be attracted to like patriarchs too. Like the men, I would say the men that if your man don't pay bills, he ain't the one. Because you got Leo 7th house. So you get alpha men. You get patriarchs. Like you attract strong men who pay bills. Okay, so if he ain't paying bills, he ain't got to be rich. But he handles the mortgage and he handles the bills, okay? So if he ain't a bill payer, that ain't your man. I can tell you that right now. Because your man comes off very Leo. He's very strong, very paternal, and he's strong. Like, he got a strong back. He ain't having his woman out here working. He ain't. Now, you can work, but you're going to most likely be working from home, and dinner's going to be on the table at the same time every night and shit. So you would do very well in a domesticated role or where you can work from home, okay? So, also daycare. So, you might want to do, like, daycare and shit, too. Because children love you, too. All right. Behavior specialist. Telling people what's wrong with their kids. Children. Sorry. All right. So, I hope that helped, Norma. I'm going to go ahead and move on. Because your chart's pretty similar. It repeats a lot. As you can see, you got a lot of shit in the same area. So, your chart is pretty straightforward. So, yeah. And you don't have a Saturn retrograde, so just have at it. Just live life. Saturn retrograde means that you get to fuck up as much as you want. You don't know what the fuck you're doing, Now, Saturn retrograde, not so much. All right, so let's get into Chantel's chart really quick. No problem, Norma. I'm glad I was able to help. All right, so let's get into Chantel's chart. All right, so I don't know if Chantel's on here or not, but I'm going to go ahead and get into the chart. Okay, so let's see. We got a Scorpio rising here. So Scorpio risings, the freaks of the zodiac. These are the true freaks. Everybody talking about them fake Virgos. Them fake Scorpios that are really Virgos and shit. Nah, this is a freak. Freaks come out at night. You got Scorpio rising. Oh, yeah. People just assume you a freak. People just assume you out here fucking. You might not even be fucking, but they swear you is. They swear you is. And people are always trying to be in your business. The Scorpio rising comes off as very secretive. Like, people feel like you're very secretive. They want to know what's going on with you. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you so secretive? Like, you already got people going through your phone and people going in your business. They want to know. They want to know what the fuck you're doing. But also master occultist. This is like Dr. Sabi, like a master occultist, also herbalist, healing through medicine. Okay, so getting into herbs and healing through holistic means is very important, or esoteric means as well. So definitely, you are not though. You can be a tarot reader, that's fine. But I will say this. You are not someone who's meant to just like do readings and that's it. Like you're someone who's meant to do like more deeper work. So like root work or being a medium, working with ancestors. You might be someone who winds up getting initiated into something. So if you ever thought about getting into like Ifa or, you know, any of those, you know, spiritual systems, voodoo, if if it's on you to get into it, you would definitely be in a secret like occult society or like somewhere that you have to be initiated into it. Okay, you can't just sign up for the shit that you're gonna get into. So you would definitely be someone who winds up in some sort of like occult group or spiritual group, initiated into it, and also like a master at it, like a shaman. Okay. So you have North Node in Sagittarius. Yeah, you can't get away from the fact that you're a spiritualist. Like you got North Node in Sag. You got Juno in Sag. So again, somebody of a different culture. And I know you, Chantel, so I know that fucking resonates. That you're going to marry someone of a different culture. Because we talked about this on the phone. Yo ass attracts nothing but foreigners. So that is definitely on point. But the thing with your Juno being conjunct your moon and your Saturn, your partner like is a part of your life purpose. So if you're not fully in your life purpose with this North Node in Sag, if you're not basically being this shamanic person, because this is in your bloodline, like shamanism and magic and spirituality go back. You have a second house Sagittarius right here. So if you're not on your true spiritual path, then marriage is going to be delayed for you with Saturn sitting here. Okay. So I would definitely say your person's going to be from a different background, foreign, different culture. Same thing I just told Norma. Juno and Sagittarius. You might be attracted to Capricorns. Not at first. As you mature, you're going to attract more like, and I'm talking about January's, even Aquariuses, like Aquarians. Okay. And I mean like more so the 1st of February to maybe like mid-February, like so like the 16th or 15th of February. So you'll be attracted to like Capricorns and Aquarius, and this is more as you get older because this is your karma. Like Aquarians are going to help you get more serious about your business and about your life in general, and they are karmic for you, but they would also make pretty good partners for you as long as they're spiritually open, as long as they're not one of those Aquarians who are like super fixed on their own way of doing it. Yeah, and I already told you I seen the energy between you two. So that makes sense. Not only is his sun coming up in your second house, but his sun is conjunct your Saturn. So you two obviously are going to deal with each other for life because you have children, but it's also supported in your chart. Saturn is here conjunct your person's sun most likely. So you two have really strong marriage energy, and I kind of already told you that before. So anybody around that time, so like winter people are going to be really good for marriage. Yeah, girl, it's here. It's conjunct your North Node, girl. It's in conjunct your life purpose. Your moon's even here. So I would say if you don't want an Aquarius, get you a Capricorn. Get you a January Capricorn. They're going to fulfill you emotionally because they're very optimistic like you, and they're also open to travel and very they're just open people in general. So if you don't want an Aquarius, I'd say then you need to go for like a Capricorn who has some Aquarius in their chart. Okay. I would say that would be really good for marriage. Okay. So life purpose is to be a spiritualist. I would definitely say a shaman, work on getting initiated in something. Then I would say with your sun in Pisces, definitely very psychic. Mercury in Pisces, also very psychic. And you also have Mercury in retrograde. So like I was telling the other Mercury, do I need my actual time of birth? No, you don't need the actual time of birth, but I would suggest getting it if you can, because I can only go like very surface level in your chart if I don't have the time of birth. But it's kind of up to you. I mean, I did Gemma's. If you were here for Gemma's, I did her chart without the time of birth. So that's kind of an idea of what the reading will be like. So yeah, the only thing I will say is like, you have a retrograde, Mercury in retrograde. So like I said, make sure that when you are like, when Mercury is going retrograde, you really do take the time to like learn more, or try to like digest things, because it's going to be a lot easier for you, especially with you having a Mercury in Pisces. I definitely feel like you deal with a lot of confusion and indecisiveness. So you're going to be someone who needs to write things down, stick to plans, stick to routines. So just stick to schedule, stick to routines, but also write things down, so that way that you're not dealing with confusion. Because Mercury and Pisces in retrograde would definitely be someone who would be very confused. You might even have a hard time reading. Like you might actually like mix words together. Might actually have like, you know, a form of dyslexia in some way, because you have so much going on in your mind. It's like very watery, and then it's retrograde. So just know that you're going to be prone to a lot of indecisiveness and confusion. So you need to write things down and be more precise and stick to the things that you want to do. Okay. Let's see. What else do I need to see for your chart? Any other things? You are a pretty strong communicator with Mars and Gemini here. So, I mean, you definitely would be very good with communicating. Hold on one second, guys. To telling that child to stop yelling. That's all I do. It's like all I do is tell that child to stop yelling. I swear. I'm so over it. Like, why do I have to keep telling you to stop yelling? And you know I'm in here on live. Anyway, so with yeah, definitely write things down. If you feel like things are like hard for you to digest, definitely write things down so you can be more action oriented and more decisive. Okay. With Mars and Gemini, again, it's kind of like a little bit of an ADHD energy, but it feels like this would be very good for social stuff. So if you're definitely somebody who wants to get into like social stuff, or get into social, you know, like get into social things, like even YouTube, or communicating with a lot of people, or having like a Discord or something where you communicate with a lot of people at once, that would be really good with Mars and Gemini here. Okay. So, it's kind of a catch-22, because it's like you're all over the place, but this helps you communicate with a lot of different people. So it's a catch-22. It's like a good or a bad thing. It's like a gift and a curse. Being able to do a lot of things at once, being able to get a lot of stuff done at once, but also it creates a lot of confusion sometimes. So just make sure, like I said, trying to stay organized as possible. I think that will help with, you know, being kind of confused and being indecisive. Jupiter in Cancer, that's a really good placement. It makes you very generous. It also is a good placement for wealth, but it would be through helping others, like through Cancerian type of things, through therapy or through psychic work. Jupiter in Cancer definitely indicates that the more you help people, especially from like a more maternal or therapeutic or psychic place, your money will start to increase. Okay, so Jupiter in Cancer is actually a really, really good placement. Jupiter loves being in Cancer. It's exalted there. So, making money will come a lot easier with you when you start to tap into your psychic abilities. Okay. I actually have Jupiter in Cancer, but it's like kind of almost in Gemini. I have like a cusp, so I can kind of relate to that from being a really powerful psychic or making a lot of money through psychic work. Okay. So let's see. Definitely got Leo here. So yeah, it's like you need to be on YouTube or something. You need to be on Instagram. It's like you need to be in front of people. Like that definitely is coming through too. And I feel like the more you get into a partnership that supports it, like somebody who is kind of at it, like somebody who doesn't mind getting out of their comfort zone, the more you will. I feel like you're going to resist a lot of stuff here. Like you're going to definitely be someone who resists your path a lot. Just because of that Pisces here in the 4th house, it's like you kind of are trying to like run away from your spiritual path a little bit. And it's like you need to just kind of embrace it, especially the business part of it. Because it's like you want to just be able to do the fun stuff. Or like you want to just be able to read the tarot or talk to people. But you don't want to like legitimize your business or, you know, have to worry about LLCs and taxes and stuff. So that's kind of where that Aquarius energy comes in. So it's like if you don't want to do the hard part of like, you know, doing the paperwork and, you know, if you don't want to do that part, then you're going to have to find this Aquarius energy, and if you, whether it's in a friend or a partner, and let them do the more like back end stuff. Because that's kind of the part I see you running from, is like the business part of things, which makes sense because your Saturn is in Capricorn. You're actually going through your Saturn return right now. So if it's been a little rough for you in life, it's because you're going through your Saturn return. And your Saturn's actually not retrograde, so this means you probably had a pretty hard Saturn return. Usually when Saturn comes around, especially when he's in his own sign, he tends to take things away. So you could experience loss a lot right now. And this could even just be financially. But yeah, I see you kind of running away from the business side of your... It's like, even I see you making money. Like, you would be someone who makes a lot of money and very easily, especially when you tap into your psychic abilities. But it's like you might be someone who doesn't want to pay your taxes, or you don't have your paperwork in order with that Saturn and Capricorn. So it's like, don't run from the business side of it, because your karma is literally in having your ducks in a row. You know, he's in his own sign. So you have to be on your shit. With Saturn's in Capricorn, you have to have structure. You have to do the stuff that you don't want to do, the disciplined stuff. And like I said, if you don't want to do it, that Aquarius will be really good for that. I mean, he's your baby daddy. You ain't got to marry his ass. He should be able to help you in that aspect, because, you know, you have children with him and shit. So if you don't want to marry his ass, or you don't want to marry someone like him, you definitely need to find someone who is good with like accounting and paperwork and structure, and how to structure a business and how to keep a business afloat, those types of things. Because if not, you're going to have really big waves of money, and then you're going to have times where you lose a lot of money, because Jupiter in Cancer is very moody. He loves being in Cancer, but Cancer is a water sign. You're going to have highs and lows. You're going to have times where you make a lot of money, then you're going to have times where your money's not as, you know, up. So having that person that can balance you out here, because Saturn and Jupiter are opposite. So it's saying you're going to have to get disciplined here. So if you're not going to do it yourself, find someone who will be able to support you in that area. Okay? You might even be attracted to like Tauruses, like early May Tauruses as well, which they'll be good for relationships, but you probably are going to be like bored with them. You'll probably get bored with them because their sun is in the 6th house. So it's kind of like you're going to start feeling pretty routine. These are good people to make money with, and I definitely feel like you will like them. But I don't know if they're going to have enough spice to keep the relationship going with you, because you need a lot of excitement. Like, you got Moon in Sagittarius, you get bored very easily. So you might be attracted to early, like, I'd say like May 12th to May 31st or something. You might be attracted to people like that, but they're going to be kind of boring. So I'd say go for the winter signs, especially like January's. Like January 1st to January 19th, around that time. Because they're going to give you the excitement that you need in your life. You know, those are going to be the ones who help you travel. Travel will also make you a lot of money. Like, travel will make you a lot of money. So that's another thing too. Like, if you actually travel, like go to different countries, you can make money through, you know, maybe a travel blog, or, you know, having people live through you vicariously through traveling and stuff like that. So documenting your travel experiences, or documenting spiritual experiences you have in foreign lands, will also make you money too, because you're going to tell other people about this, okay? So I'd say your life purpose is very Sagittarian. It's very spiritual, but you also get your hands dirty. Like, you're actually an occultist as well. Like, this is like, I'd say like Oya energy. So you're actually going to be like a practicing, like a priestess, but you're also going to like teach people and speak from experience. So that's kind of what I have for you. I hope that makes sense. You're going to, like I said, don't run from your shit a little bit too much. I'd say by the end of this Saturn return, you'll see why you can't run from it. And because you're in your Saturn return, by the end of this year, your might as well just have started this shit. Because you don't get another Saturn return until you're about 56. So if you want to spend between now and that time just kind of feeling like you missed out on opportunities, you'll ignore this. But if you want to like actually get a head start on that shit and get started on where you're supposed to be, you'll assimilate. Because Saturn is not playing. He's in Capricorn. So you're kind of fucked with that. You can't get away from it. All right. So that's what I have for Chantel. I'm going to move to Janelle really quick next. And then I have two more after that. I got Stacy and Ashley. So I appreciate you guys being patient. I like to make sure everybody gets a thorough reading because I've had people say I rushed through other people's readings and all this other shit. I'm not trying to rush through nobody's reading, so I take my time. All right. And keep in mind, if you guys get a full reading with me, they're way deeper, way more. I just sit and pull on your chart for 20 minutes. So, if you get a full reading with me, it's a lot different. No problem, Chantal. I hope that helped. So Janelle, I think Janelle was on here earlier. I don't know if she's still on here, but we're going to go ahead and get into this chart really quick. So Janelle is a true Aries and a boar, a pig in Chinese astrology. So a true Aries boar. Okay, so you're a little crazy. Like, we're going to start there. Definitely crazy. You are a piece of work, child. You are not one to be fucked with. Okay, so, yeah, you'll definitely shoot somebody. You gotta watch you. You gotta watch you, because you a gangster. You definitely shoot somebody's kneecaps out. Yeah, you're crazy. I know it. And you know what? The bad thing with you being born the year of the pig, people wouldn't even know why you're about to shoot their kneecaps out. You're like, what the fuck did I even do? Like, they wouldn't even know. But you would definitely shoot somebody's kneecaps out. Like, you're definitely crazy. And with you having that scorpionic year, because 83 is a Scorpio year, it's like you hoard your emotions. So people don't even know half the time what the fuck you're upset about, because you like store emotions away for later. Like, oh, I'm gonna get that bitch back in 3 years when I care about it. It's very scorpionic, like hiding emotions, putting away things. But then you have an Aries sun, so when it does pop out, it's very aggressive. Very, very aggressive. You got an Aries sun, you got an Aries Mars, you got Taurus and Mercury. So you stand on your shit on top of that too. Like, I would say you're not somebody who apologizes a lot. If you apologize to somebody, they really had to earn it. They really had to earn it. You're not someone who apologizes. You shoot first, you don't ask questions later, and you don't apologize. So that is definitely, you stand on your shit. You be like, yeah, well, maybe I shouldn't have did that, but you're not going to apologize. You're not a very apologetic person. So that might be something that people would say you don't apologize. And if you do, it's very few far in between. You're definitely more of somebody, well, you shouldn't have triggered me. But you have an Aries sun. Well, a lot of times people want to look at the negative and positive parts of things, and there's no really negative or positive. It just is what it is. And with you having a sun in Aries, that kind of comes off as a very selfish energy. It's very self-oriented. So thinking about other people sometimes is not y'all standpoint. Empathy is not y'all's strongest thing. Okay, so that's what I just want to point that out. When you have a true Aries sun, empathy is not your mode of operation. Caring about what other people think, thinking about how other people feel, that's not how you naturally just react to situations. So, and you have a moon in Aquarius, get the fuck, like you're savage. This is a savage energy. Like, automatically, you're definitely a savage. Like, I would not see people describing you as a nice person. And nice means foolish. So I don't mean that you don't have a good heart. You can definitely have a pretty pure heart, but you're definitely savage. This is like Regina George on steroids. You talking about Mean Girls? Nah. You got an Aquarius moon and you have an Aries sun. This is some cutthroat shit. Like, for real. You're definitely very cutthroat. I'm not surprised you're from somewhere like LA. You're definitely a city person. This definitely gives me like a city vibe because you have like a pretty cutthroat energy. You definitely would do great in places like the Bronx or somewhere where it's like you have to be savage. So definitely somebody who would do very well getting into like physical contact, like a fighter. You would definitely be a great fighter. Like, if you ever wanted to like toss hands, you would definitely be like a great boxer or a fighter, because you have like a very warrior type of energy, very savage, very like, you can detach very easily from a situation. So this also would make you a great CEO, like a great executive, because you're not emotional about shit. Like, if, the budget needs to be cut, the budget fucking needs to be cut. Oh, fucking well. If the business needs to survive, like, you're really good at making executive decisions without the emotional hangups. So, you know, when you're dealing with people in relationships, this is very hard to deal with because you're not emotional and you're very easy to attach. Like my mom has a moon in Aquarius and she's from the Bronx, so it was perfect for her. Like being savage, that works perfectly. But the problem with that is like your mother taught you to be savage in some way because she was very easily detached. Like she taught you how to detach in some way, and it's probably because of the way she treated you, like she alienated you or she detached herself from you. There could have been even some issues with attaching to the mother from a very young age. So it doesn't feel good when you're in relationships with people, but when it comes to like businesses or it comes to like creating shit, you're very good with doing it and initiating things without the emotional hangups. So it's like there's no good and bad in your chart. It's just where you use it at. You have to learn how to use your strengths. And you being pretty savage like this, I would say in the arena of being very militant and also like an executive or a politician or something. Somebody who doesn't need to think emotionally all the time. Someone who needs to think very rationally, very logically, and very quickly. Executive. Like, this is it, and we got to do this, and we got to move, and we got to stand on that, and I'm not going back on it. So very decisive type of person. Okay? You definitely make a great rapper, too. Just being honest, like a drill rapper, too, specifically. Yeah, no, it's hard. Your relationships, I can already tell. We didn't even start there, but your relationships are definitely going to be hard with this placement. And it has something to do with the way you were raised. Like, your parents were savage. Like, period. Like, your dad was very selfish or very self-oriented and taught you to put yourself first by maybe putting himself first. And your mother was very detached. So that's going to be very hard when it's the way you were raised. It's not really your fault. It's just how you were raised with the sun and the moon here in these placements. So it's going to be something, of course, you're going to have to work through and be aware of. But you definitely have to learn where to use it at. Especially if you're going to be in a relationship with a man. Sheesh. I'd be very surprised if you even like men for real. Like, I'm not saying that you wouldn't, but you definitely would be somebody I could see being bisexual or being with women. Because you have, like, a very masculine energy. Like, I could definitely see you being with a femme or something. Like, you know what I mean? Because you have a very masculine energy. It's going to be very hard to deal with men. You would have to be with a man who is very secure and likes very dominant women. You'd have to be with a man who likes very dominant women and also is very detached, like them fake cancers. Like, so someone late June or early July, someone who's not very emotional, someone who's more cerebral, and someone who their love language is communication. Like, you would deal with somebody whose love language isn't like affection and, you know, like emotional shit. They would like words of affirmation. Like, I told you I love you, so I mean I love you. Or like more communicative. Like, this is somebody who expresses their love through communication. It's not that you're better off single. It's just you have to find the right person who can deal with your energy. So it's not that you're better off single at all. I don't think that. You also have a Juno in Pisces. So the person that you're going to be with is more of a spiritual type of thing. It's not about emotions and warm and fuzzy shit. It's about spiritual stuff, and it's also about communication, and maybe even teaching other people through your relationships that relationships don't have to look a certain way. Yeah, no, I doubt it. I doubt you probably have found that person, because with this placement, it's very hard to find a man that could probably deal with this. Just being honest. Like, I have placements in my chart as well. I got Mars and Aries. I got shit that makes me pretty hard to deal with men too. So it's going to be pretty hard to find a man that doesn't want you to be like super warm and cuddly and like super feminine. So definitely going to have to find a man who is secure in his masculinity and is okay with his woman being like, you know, her true self, being that strong energy. So it's just the right type of man. Honestly, you could even wind up with a man who's not as masculine. Like, maybe, not that he's gay or anything, but I'm saying like a man who's not like, ooh, I'm alpha. You know, they're actually somebody who may be more yin. So you actually could wind up with the fake Aries. So like Pisces people who are Aries in Western. So like early April, late March, those types of people. Because those men like to come off like they're alpha in the real world, but behind closed doors, they're very They're very yin. Those men are very yin. Like Big Sean. Like Janae runs Big Sean. Like Big Sean tries to act like he's the man in the relationship. But Janae is a dragon. So, and I think Big Sean's a Piscean snake. I think he's 89, if I'm not mistaken. But he's definitely more of the yin in that relationship. Janae's more of the yang. Not saying she emasculates or anything, but she's more of the yang energy. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you might deal with a man who's more of a yin energy. Yeah, scared of my son's father. Poor guy. He wanted something less powerful. Yeah, like, you can't be with somebody who is not secure in the fact that they're either a man who likes a spicy woman or he's a strong man who needs that fiery woman. It's one of those two things. And you'll find men like that. You have men who don't like weak women. They like women who are strong and fiery. And then you have, men who are more yin and they actually like their woman to be more of the yang one. So I would say late March, early April, or late June, early July. And these are men who could be in business. Like, you definitely probably need to date men who are in business because they're more, again, they're not more emotional. So somebody who runs a big company or somebody who has like a big production company or something like that. Somebody who's in a role in their life where they're not always tapped into their emotions, like a communicator for a living. Yeah, you also have Venus and Taurus. So I would say dating a man who already has money, who's already established with Venus. She likes men with money, okay, or people with money. She doesn't want to be with anybody that has like who's broke. So you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have money. That's already going to be a no, especially with your Venus and your North Node being conjunct. Your love is kind of a part of your life purpose because your North Node is here. It's in Taurus. So I definitely say you're probably going to be a business owner, like a big business owner, like a big CEO. Like, you're somebody who would make a lot of money from your business, like millionaire status, if not billionaire, with the North Node in Taurus. But I would say getting into real estate, okay? Real estate would be great for you, or land owning, land development with the North Node in Taurus. Or beauty stuff. You could also get into beauty stuff. Like, you could also be into, like, makeup and creating your own. Like, this is like Black China energy. Not, like, no disrespect, but Black China was that bitch for a while. She fucked up a little bit, doing too much. Her ass wrapping cords around Rob's neck and shit. Can't be doing that. But Black China is a true Aries, too. I think her birthday's around yours. I think she's, like, the 4th or some shit. I don't know. But this reminds me of that. And she, had a pretty big beauty line. She just fumbled the bag because she was too violent. Like, she couldn't get that Aries under control. So if you get that fiery energy under control, then you're going to be good. Like, The Rock would be a perfect example of this because The Rock is a true Aries. He works out. He's a big executive. He owns a lot of different stuff. I'll be surprised if The Rock doesn't run for some sort of public office eventually. But he has a handle on his temper. He's like the most chill Aries I've ever kind of seen. Other than Kaylani. Kaylani's a true Aries. But she also does like Tai Chi and martial arts. She's very into spirituality. So she's learned how to calm the fuck down. Chris Brown's also eventually learned how to calm the fuck down. So once you guys learn how to calm the fuck down, shit goes better for y'all. But Black China fumbled the bag because she was too violent. Like, she wound up, doing the whole fucking most. So it's like, if you get that shit under control, you'll be chill. Like, definitely martial arts or like running or doing some sort of physical activity so you can get all that fire out will help you in a day-to-day basis. Will help you be more chill. Okay? So I definitely say a big business, getting into some sort of business. But also the thing is, like, it's funny because after you establish your business, it's like you will eventually start to teach others how you did it because your Saturn is in Virgo. So people will learn from you either by your example because you're in Aries. That's good that you're into breath work and stuff. That's exactly what you need. But people will learn from your example. Like, you might wind up writing a book about how you did this and stuff, and people might read it that way. Or you might literally wind up holding classes and seminars and teaching people, like being a motivational speaker and teaching people how you did it. Okay, so that's kind of what I see here for you. Yeah, because Aries is a channeler. Like, Aries people don't really need true Aries. I'm not talking about the fake ass Aries, the ones that are really Pisceans. I'm not talking about y'all, the Mariah Careys of the world and the Lil Nas X's. I'm not talking about y'all. I'm talking about the true Aries. You guys very spiritual and channelers. Like, you guys actually don't need tarot cards and stuff. You guys actually do really well on channeling stuff right through the source, especially when you're healthy. If you guys have healthy bodies, you're really good at channeling. Okay, I plan to launch course class on being a successful single parent. Yep, that would do it with all this independent ass energy. Yeah, that would definitely make sense. So that's kind of what I see for you here. Like I said, don't fret about not finding someone. You will find the right person. You just have to find the person who meshes well with your personality. Knowing who you are and knowing how you were raised, getting that anger under control, and then going from there. Like, not trying to change who you are to fit someone else. You would never shrink yourself. You are like this, Aquarius, no. You are never someone who could change for someone. No. So you're better off just finding someone who complements your energy, which everybody kind of is, but then there's some people who can actually change, like Jada Pinkett Smith. She's a true Virgo. She changed everything. She didn't want to get married. She didn't want anything that she is right now. She didn't want that shit, but she was willing to change for her husband. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. All right, so that's kind of what I see for you, Janelle. I hope that helps. And then we're going to move into Stacy now. And then I got Ashley, and then that's the last one, okay? I'm glad it helped. Stacy, I already had your chart, so because I've already done yours. I did yours on Clubhouse a while back, so I'm going to go back over it. And then I will bring Ashley's up, and we should be done. No problem. Thank you guys for being patient, okay? So, let's see. Stacy. What we got going on here, girl? So, you also are another Mercury retrograde in Leo. We've had like 3 Mercury retrogrades in Leo back to back. We had Gemma, we had Norma, and now we got you. What's up with all this Mercury retrograde in Leo? 3 placements back to back. That's why I be feeling like the same type of people be watching me. I feel like the same type of people be watching me. Thank you, Janelle, for buying a badge. Thank you for anybody who bought a badge and I didn't get to say thank you, because I'm not really looking at the screen right now. I'm kind of looking at the chart. So I'm sorry if I missed anything. But yeah, so that's good. You're recording this time. Awesome. And this will be posted on YouTube, guys. I won't post it on Instagram because it's going to be too long, but I will post it on YouTube. So we got Sun in Leo. We got Sun in Venus, Venus in Leo. We've got Juno in Leo. So lots of Leo. We got Mercury in Leo. So natural storyteller. Again, with your Mercury being retrograde, make sure you keep in mind that retrograde is the best time for you to learn information or make decisions, because you are born during a Mercury retrograde. So this is actually more of a positive time of the year for you versus someone who is not born with Mercury retrograde, okay? But also very powerful speaker nonetheless. But yes, you have a lot of true Leo energy in your chart, okay? So I would definitely say with your Sun and your Juno being conjunct and Venus, you're definitely somebody who is a relationship type of person, okay? So let's just get that out of the way. With you being a Leo, a lot of you is going to want to be like, oh, I'm independent, fuck being in a relationship, I'll never be. You are definitely a relationship type of person, okay? You are someone who relationships are very important to you. And I'm not just talking about friendships, like actual marriage and personal relationships. So you are someone who's more of someone who will be married. So, yeah, I know you went through a divorce recently, but don't be surprised if you get married again or you have some sort of long-term partnership again, okay? Because you're just a long-term partnership type of person. This is in your chart. Your soul likes being in a relationship, okay? Now, how do you know who the right person is for you? The right person is most likely born around the same time as you. If they're not born around the same time as you, they have your type of energy. They're like a Leo themselves because you have Juno and Leo. So this is a very strong person, very paternal person, good father, great stepfather. Leos love children, period. Like Leos love all children, not just their children. So like Michael Jackson, there's an interview where people were talking about how he wanted to do like a children's day. If you ever watch that, they asked him, about him being a good father, but he's like, not just to my children, but all children, because Leos love children. Yeah, enjoy your singlehood for now, but just don't be like, if a relationship does pop up and it's something that you like and you enjoy, don't, feel bad or don't be scarred from what happened before to the point where you don't want to be in a relationship, because you are a relationship type of person. But children, the man that you will be with is somebody who loves children, a patriarchal type of person. So if this is not someone who loves children, that's a big sign that they're probably like, I mean, they like to have fun. They take children to the park. You know, they like to help develop children, and even not just children that's theirs, but others. Okay. This is somebody who, if they're buying ice cream for their children, they might buy ice cream for every child in the line. Like they're very, they're domestic. They're really good with cooking. So very similar to you. Okay. So that's kind of why relationships are good. You might be dating somebody who you feel like is very similar to you, very fiery, very expressive, passionate. So if they're like somebody, like I know you were with, I think you had an Aquarius before, they would be up here, which is a part of your life path with the North Node, but they're going to be more of a karmic person, someone to teach you more. The person that you're going to be with is somebody who fits right in, like fourth house, they fit right in. Like you two actually enjoy living together. You would create a nice home environment. So that's going to kind of tell you who your person is. Yeah, nah, that's up here and that's not, You're better off creating businesses with Aquarius or something like that, but not having a home life. They are actually repelling. They're repelling everything about you. They're repelling your marriage placements. Aquarians are repelling your soul, your Venus. It'd be a very hard placement. You're dealing with somebody who's completely different than you pretty much. So that's not going to work for you. Some people can be with their opposites. You're not that type of person. You need to be with somebody who's more like you. Okay. So your moon is also in Cancer, so very psychic energy. So you would do really good with tarot. Moon and Cancer people are way more psychic than even me. I always push moon and Cancers to get into tarot because you guys are really good with psychic work. Again, really good with children. You guys do really good with working with children. One of my best friends who's a Cancer moon, she's like a behavioral health specialist. She works with, children, and especially children who have, certain things that challenge them in education. So she helps children with, children who have educational challenges or behavioral issues. So working with children is another good thing, but also very psychic. Anything domesticated like cooking, taking care of the home, beautifying the home. Those are things that you really enjoy doing. And again, that Cancer sign makes you, again, very relationship oriented. Okay. So I would say that's probably part of your life path, especially since it's opposite your North Node. Your psychic abilities are very important to your life purpose, okay? So follow your psychic abilities, utilize your psychic abilities, create a business with them because your North Node is in Capricorn. I also have a North Node in Capricorn, so that means that you were born, 20 years, some years before me? Yeah. 19 years before me, so we have the same North Node. So what that means is you... That's me. I love cooking, crafting. So yeah, we'll create a business by that because you're here to be more of a business person. Even though you love your home and you're going to be very attached to your children and domesticated type stuff, creating a business is a part of your life purpose. Okay. So make sure that you're doing this for money, like not just doing it because you like it and it's fun. Actually do it to make money because it will make you a lot of money. You're going to be really good at it. So psychic work, therapeutic work, crafting, anything that has to do with children or healing people through your psychic abilities are going to be a great thing for you to do to make money. Okay. Also very smart children. You have fifth house ruled by Virgo. So your children are very smart. Me and you have the same rising sign. So pretty much anything I can do, you can do. 10th house Aquarius, astrologer, you'd be a great astrologer. 7th house of Fucus, healer. As I got that placement too. We have the same chart going around. So anything I'm doing, you can do pretty much. But, I will say that you will be you will be strongly attached to your house. So I would say anything that you can do out of your house would be really good. Like working from your home will be one of your most powerful things to do because you have fourth house in Leo. You will create some of the best stuff you've ever created from your home. Your home is like a big nexus for creativity for you. Like it fuels you. Like you're going to create the best art there. Like if you want to do art, put a studio in your house or put a place in your house just for you to create art because you're really going to see a lot of growth with that. But your children are very smart. You're going to have very, very intelligent children. I'd be very surprised if you don't teach your children a lot of stuff. Like Like, my children already knew how to write their name and all that. They knew all that stuff before they went to school because I taught them before, you know. So you might be really into teaching your children, educating your children. But you're naturally a healer. Like, naturally you are a healer. You know, with a Fucus 7th house, like, you heal people. Anybody you come into contact with and you have a relationship with, whether friendship, family, lover, you wind up healing that person. So just keep that in mind when you are connecting with people, because you might wind up, you basically will wind up attracting people who need to be healed all the time. That's another thing. So try you with that Fucus 7th house. It's like you attract people who need their lives rearranged, or you attract people who need healing in some way, and you'll wind up doing it whether you know this or not. But this also becomes a problem because you're always healing that person and they're not healing you. So watch that. You're better off creating that, making that your money thing than doing it in your relationships. Yeah, so create a spiritual business so that way you're not, when I created a spiritual business, I don't just heal people for free now. Like, it's not just, now it's like you got to pay me, because this is actually what I do for a living. And I've been paid so much for it to the point where I know it's valuable, okay? I've been paid so much for my healing abilities and my psychic work and my astrology to the point where I know it's worth something. So I'm not just going to give it out to people. That's why I tell healers to create businesses around their work so they can understand how valuable it is. Because they'll be like, damn, I made all that money off of just this, off of my Reiki or off of my tarot. Yeah, because it's valuable. You don't think it is, but when you see that people are willing to pay for it, you'll take it a little bit differently. You're not just going to be willing to give it out just cause, you know. So I would definitely say you make a great astrologer as well. But also, like, you will be a single parent at some point with the Taurus rising, especially the women. With women, Taurus risings, we control the household. Like, even though we have strong men, like, we will attract business-minded men or men who are very strong, we wind up usually overtaking a lot of things in the household because 4th house is ruled by Leo, and that makes us like an authoritative figure in the household. So we wind up delegating the finances or overtaking our husband's business. Like, he might work, but he brings the money to us so we can delegate it and do good with the money. Or we might even actually overtake our husband's business, depending on his placements, because Taurus rising makes you really good with money. It makes you really good with business. So it's not like to emasculate him or anything. The man you wind up with might actually ask you to take over their business or to handle the finances because you're better at it than them. It's not he's a man or nothing as that. He will probably pay all the bills, but you're probably going to be the one who's putting the money where it goes. You get what I'm saying? So don't be surprised if you wind up overtaking the finances in the household and taking care of the children and stuff like that. Or you may even out-earn your spouse. That might be something possibly, not all the time, but you can see that sometimes. And I mean that your spouse is not going to hold their weight, but Taurus rising, you're ruled by Venus. Like, you're here to experience wealth. When you have a Taurus rising, not only you're here to experience beauty, but you're here to experience a luxurious life. Or the person who creates wealth or has to deal with large sums of money. Okay, so real estate is something that you're probably going to wind up getting into. It's not going to come easy, though. With Taurus rising, it means you have to work really hard to gain that wealth. Okay, so you will be successful, but don't be surprised if it's something that you have to work towards really hard. And also getting into stocks and stuff like that would be good too, because 2nd house was ruled by Gemini, which I have as well, and that's why I'm into Forex. So stocks, it would be really good because you're really good at noticing patterns and trends. So creating wealth in that way. So I see you being very stable, especially if you start to utilize your spiritual abilities. If you start to use your spiritual abilities, you'll make money and you'll be able to invest that money into other things. Okay. Also need to make sure that you're eating really well. 6th house ruled by Virgo. So make sure you have a really good diet. Okay. That's very important for your chart. No, that's pretty much it. I see business. Definitely you need to do business. Your confidence is going to increase a lot more when you start doing business. Like Mars in Capricorn, it's in reverse. Mars loves being in Capricorn. It's one of the best places for Mars. However, your Mars is retrograde, so it means it's damaged in some way. And I feel like succeeding in business will help you heal that Mars, because he's in Capricorn, so he wants to create business. But it's like you will not do it. Like Mars in retrograde is like you're going to resist it. It's like you don't have confidence in it. Like you don't believe you can do it. And the more you keep doing that, the more you're injuring your Mars. And it's also going to kill your motivation in other areas. So you'll find that the more you're achieving in your career, you'll actually be motivated to do other things. So just know that your motivation, your modality is connected to your business. So the less you do that, the more complacent you're going to get. The more you do it, the more you're going to be like, oh, what's my next bag? What's my next thing? Let me get into my next thing. Oh, I killed that. Let me get into my next thing. So make sure you are doing this because it's going to really help you feel more confident to do other things that you want to do in your life. Okay? But Mars and Capricorn also needs physical exercise too, like a rigorous routine. Like you need to work out, like I want to say every day, but have like a very good routine because he needs physical activity. And with it being in Capricorn, he needs structured physical activity. So routinely, you're going to the gym 2-3 times a week, routinely, like consistently. That will help with your confidence too. There was a lack of structure growing up. That's the problem. Like some way or another, there was a lack of structure. Like your mom could have been too up and down emotionally. She wasn't big on discipline. Your father was, but I don't know if he was, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. I don't know what people's parents be doing, but there's a lack of structure here that you're going to need to heal. And that will be healed through like exercise and your business and doing it every day, like being routine with it, sticking with it. Because Capricorn is talking about going the distance. Okay. So that's what I got for you, Stacey. I don't know if that makes sense. Definitely Jupiter and Libra. You might want to tap into the beauty industry as well, like earrings, fashion, interior design. Since you do like crafting, you would do really well with beauty as well, especially modeling and dealing with women's clothes, women's makeup. Okay, anything that has to do with women because you're ruled by Venus anyway. So massage therapy, spas, like creating a really nice spa for women, that would be really, really good for you too. You would make some good money from that. Okay, so I hope that this helped, Stacey. I'm glad it did help. I'm going to go ahead and move into Ashley. I'm going to have to unplug really quick so I can put Ashley's information in. And then that will be the last one for the night. And I will be back on here Thursday. And next time I'm going to have a timer so that way I can kind of like try to speed them up a little bit. But I don't mind taking my time with these. I like people getting thorough readings. So let me unhook this really quick so I can put Ashley's information in here. And I probably won't take as many next time either. So I'll probably just take like 5 for the next one. All right. Let's see. So if you guys want to be on my next one, I'll have my assistant write to you guys if you already put in and get you guys back up for the next one. I'm going to be back on here on Thursday. All right. So let's see what we got going on here. What do we got going on here? Alright, and then alright. I'll be up all night, whole crew's in here. God, I don't know why this keeps coming up. Thank you. Every time. All right. Thank you for the badge, Stacey. I appreciate it. So this is for Ashley. We're going to get into your reading really quick. And then I'm done. Okay. So let's see what we got going on here. So we got a Leo rising. Leo rising, people always watch you. People always want to know what you're doing. People can't keep their eyes off you. Why do people always want to be in my business? Why am I always the center of attention when I walk in the room? I try to hide. I try to not be seen, and people just be looking at me anyway. Why? Why is everybody worried about what I'm doing? Because you have a Leo rising. It's like a lion walking in a room. That's why I always explain to Leo rising. You're like, I just want to be in the background. I don't want to be seen. I don't want people to look at me every time I come in the office. Why is everybody always worried about what I'm wearing? Why? Because. Okay? Because. Your ass is a Leo rising. Okay? You can't hide. You can't hide. You're not going to be able to hide. You stick out like a sore thumb. If a lion walked in the office, you're going to notice it, right? That's you. Okay? So that's done. So the whole trying to hide away and not be seen, nah, bruh. You got a Leo rising. Cancer rising. I mean, Cancer rising is pretty popular too, but they're more popular. Leo risings are famous. Like people just automatically project fame onto you, or leadership or authority roles. They automatically just project that onto you. Some people are intimidated by you because they think you're in a position of authority. Some people are intimidated by you because they just feel like you have this very regal type of energy. Okay, so one of my favorite Leo risings that everybody hates is Donald Trump. I love him, but he's a true Leo rising. He was famous before he was a president. Okay, and that's because he was known. Like, you know, executive, high end. You guys are usually very good in positions of power. If you guys are not in positions of power or positions of authority, it's not going to work. Like, you guys are definitely people who cannot be subordinates. So management and above. Yeah, I love him. I know everybody hates him, but I fucks with my nigga. I fucks with him, and the people are going to be mad. I don't give a fuck. But that's that nigga. And he was that nigga before he became president. Everybody loved that nigga before he became a president. So I don't care what people got to say about him. But he's a Leo rising. So Leo risings are obviously very powerful people, very well liked. But either people are going to be intimidated by you or they're going to love you. It's kind of no in between there. You were born, you got a true Pisces here. So I don't know. Oh, yeah, aren't you Pisces and Western too? So, yeah, you don't really change. I don't think, no. Is this aren't you? No? Hold on, yeah, you're a Pisces. You don't change either way. I can't be subordinate. Insubordination has been said about me before. Yeah, you're not good in positions you have to be in the position of authority, like the manager or the executive. I mean, honestly, with Leo risings, I tell you guys to start your own companies. I don't really see why you guys are even working for people. It makes no sense. Leo risings do not need to work for people. It's not going to be good for anybody involved. So it won't be good for anybody involved if you're working for people. I would definitely say you need to be in a position of like starting your own company, being like a CEO or something. Definitely with like Mars and Taurus up here. I would say running your own business. I would say being in real estate also would be probably good. What's up, Nate? Real estate will also be really good for you. Owning properties, owning land development will also be a good area for you. Or beauty. You can be in beauty, fashion. Okay, that's another thing you might like. Anything that had to do with the physical body also. You would be good with, like, be a good physical trainer. Like somebody who motivates people or gets people up and makes them exercise, makes them do things. So you'd be a great personal trainer. Great motivator. Like, again, someone who starts businesses. Yes, investing in my first house to flip. Yeah, that's definitely right up your alley, real estate. You also have moon in Capricorn here. So with your moon being here in the 7th house in Capricorn, I would say anybody, when it comes to your relationships, you need to, they need to be business oriented. Like, you can't be with anybody who's not good with business or good with money. Okay, so if you're dealing with somebody who doesn't have their own business or isn't good with finances, then that's not going to be someone for you, because you're probably going to have like a business relationship. Like, your relationship is going to be more business oriented, like Donald Trump and Melania. Everybody hates them, but I mean, they've been married for how fucking long? Why? Because they have a business arrangement. I'm not saying that they don't love each other. I think that they have their own way. They have their own thing, but Capricorn 7th house means that, I'm looking at the sidereal chart. I don't know what chart you looking at before. I read sidereal, so I'm just going to go with what I got. But you're welcome to always keep whatever charts you got and go with that. Whatever resonates more. I always tell people, go for what is true to your soul. If I say something that don't sound like you at all, then, then that's not for you. But with you talking about being in real estate, I would definitely say your partner needs to be somebody who's, if not already in real estate, but has their own business, okay? You definitely would be more attracted to, like, wintry people. Like, I'd say more like Aquarians, fake Aquarians, so they'd be true Capricorns. Like, what is this? Like, mid-Februaries, early Februaries. So people who are in business tycoons, people who have really big business goals, like the Oprahs of the world. Those are the type of people you're going to be with. So even though, like I said, people don't like Melania and Donald Trump, they have some sort of arrangement and understanding. They're more about long term. Like, they're being together because they're more about the long term goal. Like, you know, how's this going to look in 5 years, or where we're going to be at in 10 years. They're more about fidelity in business than they are worried about the touchy-feely parts of a relationship. And a lot of people may not like that, but everyone's relationship is different. You also might actually date somebody who's older than you. That's another thing. Being with somebody who's younger than you, not going to work. It's not. There's going to be an age difference. And I would say, because you're the woman here, I would say you're most likely going to be with somebody who's older than you. Like an older man. Like Beyonce has this same 7th house. Jay-Z, you get what I'm saying? So you're going to be with somebody who's already established in business, and somebody who actually will probably give you like a leg up in business. What's up, Elle? I didn't see you come on here. But yeah, like, you're going to be like, date men who already are established in business and are older than you. Like, people who can give you a leg up in business. Yeah, definitely you don't want to date anybody who's not going to give you that experience, because Capricorn 7th house means that you're dating someone who's more experienced than you and older than you. It's someone who can actually upgrade your life business wise. Okay. So Sun in Pisces in the 9th house, very spiritual, great yoga teacher. So yoga might be something you want to incorporate. Like, definitely need to get into yoga. I would say with that 9th house, they're teaching yoga, being a yoga teacher, especially with the Mars and Aries. I mean, with the Midheaven and Aries, you would be a great yoga teacher. This actually has been passed on through the maternal line. Like, you might actually have very spiritual, like, women in your family, like psychics and seers, dream readers, but also yoga teachers, or people who are into yoga, chanting, that type of shit. Okay, so that comes from, like, your maternal side. So you do have psychic abilities. I'm not saying you have to use them. Honestly, people sleep on Capricorn, but true Capricorn actually is very psychic. Because it channels Cancer energy. But I actually don't see anything in your chart that says you have to be in the esoteric. Because honestly, you would be doing esoteric stuff for fun. Like, you and your person, yeah, because I feel like you were in, like, a spiritual relationship in the past. So it's like, this life you want to be more, like, you want to experience money and wealth. Like, you were maybe, like, in a very spiritual couple in the past, like, very much known for your spirituality or something. But this life is like, you want to get that bag. Like, you're okay with having spiritual parts of your life, but you're very money oriented. This is a very earthly chart. Very earthly chart. Yeah, definitely dream reading that comes from deep in your maternal line. Like, you might be from a tribe. Like, that might come, like, if you do your mom's ancestry, I'm sure she's connected to some sort of lineage that does dream reading or some shit. Like, I'm pretty sure. So that's in your maternal line. So you might actually want to do dream reading as well. That might be something too that you'd be really good at. Because dreams help people initiate things, and you have Aries up here, so you're someone who helps people get started. Like, you're someone who motivates people. Like people get motivated around you. Like, people will probably actually love being around you because you get them, like, hyped to do shit. So dream reading is also something right up your alley, because it's prophetic. Like, dreams tell you when shit's about to happen or when you should start shit. So that might be something else you might want to look into as well. But I do see you having a very spiritual union, but it's like you and your person are going to be very private about that. I do see, like, tantric sex and stuff like that. So you're going to be into that. Like, your person's going to be very spiritual, but I feel like you guys are going to kind of keep that to yourselves. Like, you're not really going to be open with it, because it feels like in a past life you were already like that spiritual couple. You were already like that yogi couple, or you were, you know, like a high priestess and a magician. So it's like you're still a high priestess and a magician, but it's more on the earthly. This is like empress, emperor, instead of magician, high priestess. This is like emperor, empress energy. So it's a little different. It's still divine feminine, divine masculine, but this is more from an earthly perspective. So yeah, I mean, if you're already in real estate, that's kind of half the battle right there. Land development too. So get into like owning land, because a lot of people sleep on how lucrative owning land is. Like everybody's about owning the properties, but owning land is also very, very important for you too, because you're going to probably pass some land down and shit like that. But yeah, you got some psychic abilities. I just feel like it's kind of hidden from you. Like it's in the 12th house. You're going to have to work on giving some of that money away. You were taught to be selfish somehow. Like maybe you just had to be maybe you come from a big family or something. Like you had to learn how to put yourself first, like to get yours before someone else gets you. You had to learn that in some way in your life. You were taught at an early age to make sure you get and make sure you're straight. This could have been out of survival, but with Jupiter in the 12th house in Cancer, I would definitely say start some sort of charity, okay? Because that's going to help you unlock a lot of your wealth. If not, a lot of your wealth is going to be kept from you because it's in the 12th house. Like something about your childhood told you not to be generous. Like, I don't know, your mother could have told you this or something. Like someone told you like being generous is a bad thing, or this is a something you've developed early on. So when you get this money, I would definitely say opening up a charity, even if it's something for children or women with it being in Cancer. Yeah, you definitely have to spend money. Yeah, you definitely got to spend money, make money. That's goes without saying. But this, I'm talking about more just giving money away because it's the right thing to do. This is more of a humanitarian. This is from a place of empathy, okay? Which is going to be hard for you. If it's already hard for you to spend money, to make money, it's definitely going to be hard for you to just give money away, to be generous. But I'm telling you, with Jupiter locked back up there in the 12th house, you're going to see a lot of blockages around your wealth if you're not generous. This is actually like something karmic for you. So I would say maybe start something for children. You know what I'm saying? Do something for children. Because usually you can do for children. I understand doing shit for grown adults or animals. That's another thing. If you don't, want to do something for children, do something for animals. But this will help unlock a lot of your wealth. This is what we call a remedy in astrology. Like if you read channels, will tell you how to remedy something. This is a remedy. How you're going to unlock your Jupiter is by being more generous, giving your wealth away. And you'll actually see a lot. So if you're a teacher currently, do something just because for your students. Like for me, if I don't see a child with a jacket, I'm going to buy a child a jacket. Or I'm going to give that child one of my children's jackets or something. So yeah, if you're going to quit, but still keep that connection with children. Always come back to that, because that is going to help you unlock a lot of your wealth. Because I'm very generous. I have Jupiter kind of in Cancer. It's like a Gemini Cancer cusp. But I'm very generous, and I think that's what keeps my money coming in. This is why I'm always okay, even when I feel like I'm not. It's because I always give, and it always comes back to me. But there's something about the way you were raised that tells you that giving is not good, and it's going to affect your wealth. So I would say create some sort of charity, and maybe around children or animals. It will definitely help your money. You're going to see like a really big increase in your finances that way. But that's only one of the real blockages I kind of see here. Everything else is really in alignment in your chart. Yeah, it could have been your mother, because you got moon in Capricorn. So your mother could have been like a little stingy or like cold, and it kind of taught you to be like this. So you need to work on that, because Jupiter is also your co-ruler. He rules your sun as well as Neptune. So a lot of people don't know that Pisces is also ruled by Jupiter. So you got to please him because he's ruling your soul. So that's kind of what I see for you. Like yeah, she was very cold. That's why you have a Capricorn moon. I have one as well, trust me. Raised by a Capricorn moon mother as well. So I know exactly what you mean. So you got to work on that. But yeah, your fortune is in real estate. I see you making a lot of money through real estate and land development. And also beauty products. Beauty might also be something. She just said cold. Yeah. Yeah, you got to check yourself. Definitely. Like, I mean, I know because I read my charts. I read my son's charts. I read my own charts. So I know how to parent my children. I know how to not damage them as much as I can with the astrology. But, like, my mom didn't know, you know, that I have a Capricorn moon and that she was, like, kind of damaging me by being so cold and shit. But, you know, now that you know, you do better. So I would suggest maybe even getting your daughter's chart read so you can know how she needs to be parented. Because, like, my oldest has a Capricorn moon, too. He has the same moon sign as me. So since I know that, I remedy it. Like, I'm not cold with him. I'm actually overly affectionate with him because I know how it is to have a Capricorn moon. I know how it is to have a mom that doesn't hug you and laughs when you're emotional and laughs at you when you're hurt. I know how that feels. So I actually compensate that with my oldest son by being overly affectionate, which seems overly affectionate for me because I have a Capricorn moon, but it's actually probably normal. But because I have a Capricorn moon, hugging and being affectionate feels really weird to me. But my son is actually very affectionate. He loves physical touch and stuff. So I give him that instead of being cold because I know how that feels. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people, if you have children, get your children's charts read because it will save you a lot of problems in the long run. And even the stuff that you have to be tough on, like, you know, my oldest is, he's got a son in the first house. He's got Mars and Leo. He's got a lot of stuff that makes him selfish. So I make him share. He hates it, but I see it in his chart. If I don't get you to start sharing now, this is going to be an issue for you longer in the long run. And then my oldest son, he shares too fucking much. So I make him be more independent. I make him stay in his room by himself, actually do things by himself because he's way too codependent. So it's like when you know your children's charts, you know where to kind of, you know, tweak things a little bit to help them. Now, I don't tell my children their charts like that because I want them to be as pure as possible. Eventually, I mean, if they want them to read their charts, then that's cool. But I know what their charts are, so I parent them according to what they need. I would like to get my kids' charts done. You should do that too. Yeah, I do on my Wizio. If you want to book one now, it's on my Wizio. I do children's charts on my Wizio. Her dad is so feminine. I'm really masculine when it comes to discipline, especially. Yeah, because you have a moon in Capricorn. So you're like the father. When you have a moon in Capricorn, your mother was like your dad. That's basically what that means. So you learned how to be a mother through someone who treated you like they were your father. They were very hard and cold, like a father could be, like very disciplined. So it's like, that's how you are going to parent your child because that's what you know. But that can actually fuck a child up. Like, I have really big issues with my gender and like, am I too masculine? When do I be feminine? I have really bad issues with that because my dad was the feminine one and my mom was masculine. So it's really warped my sense of what the fuck a woman is. And I have a lot of issues with that in relationships with men because I'm too masculine. But why? My mom was masculine as fuck and my dad was very feminine. So it's something that I've had to deal with, but once you can improve on it. Okay. So I hope that this helps, guys. I've been on here for about 3 hours. I really gave it my best. I really tried to give you guys really good chart readings. But like I said, if you guys book a full reading, if you can only imagine this is just a snippet, full readings are definitely way more, intricate, but I love astrology. So I will be back to do this on Thursday. I'll probably take less people and I'm going to time them so I don't talk so much, but I could go all day on these charts, guys. So don't even worry about it. All right. So, I love you guys. I hope that this helps. I will be posting this on YouTube, not Instagram, because Instagram is not going to let me post this because it's too long. So if you want to see your playback, please go on YouTube. That's where it will be posted. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you, Ashley. I'm glad it helped. I thank you guys so much for everybody being patient. It really means a lot. And I'll talk to y'all soon, okay? I might actually jump on for Money Monday in a little bit. I'll take a little bit of break and then I'll hop back on, okay? See y'all. Peace.